Welcome everyone to the Planet Cracker podcast. This one being the 6th episode, in which I'm joined by
Uh, Body counter, Brody. Nice to be back.
Hello everyone, I'm Papa Red, and I usually just make dumb shit on SFM.
I'm fiery. I speedrun and get addicted to ranked gaming.
Respect that.
and I'm your host once again. Here is Max. So, welcome everyone. We'll be talking about two special games that came out. Well, one of them came out at the beginning of this year, and the other one at the end of the 2022, which we'll be talking about those two in detail in a few minutes. But yeah, I think we'll be starting first with our beloved Dead Space remake. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Feels good to finally get talked so much about it.
Exactly. Especially that it came out as a good remake. Like, we
I was
didn't
very-
expect it.
Yeah, everyone came out at a time where people were giving off about the remakes because a bunch of like stupid news about like Horizon Zero Dawn remake and all this like bad stigma towards remakes about not needing them, and then all of a sudden the Dead Space remake came out and everyone just loves these fucking things again, and then we're getting more traction with like RE4. So for remakes, I think it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I can understand why there would be such a stigma with remakes, considering a few things like that, Horizon Zero Dawn, and then it's annoying to admit it, but like the Last of Us remake, the part 1, either it is just like a carbon copy of the first game. It is technically a remake, like graphically, but they still like cut features, they cut multiplayer out. So I can understand the stigma of people not liking remakes anymore, but I'm just so glad this one actually lived up to its hype and both like honored the original and added new things on top of it.
Yeah, especially for the veterans of the
It
series.
also kind of revived the series because nothing was done with Dead Space for like 10 plus years, or about 10 years.
Yeah, literally. The about 10 years since Dead Space 3, which was in 2013. And the oh my god, the way they pulled the whole community back from the grave through its incredible marketing was a really good move that they did.
Yeah, especially with the help of Caden House. Like, he really did a good job on organizing some of the dev streams that were present. Well, that were done.
Yes.
As well, bringing some special guests.
Caden did a really good job for when he was still the community manager for like EA Motive. And yeah, I'm glad he could even join Necroposting in the first place to give us like a few little things here and there, or like ask for opinions, and then we'd offer our advice. And I'm glad he also rolled with the jokes that we shared as well. I was so happy with that. He was a good bloke. Hope he's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, he's still like working on the gaming industry, but I don't know for which studio or game, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, after Caden joining the Necroposting, we just found out, like later on, that there were other motive developers infiltrated on both Necroposting, the Dead Space community, and even the Dead Space speedrun Discord server.
Yes. Yeah. The what I was and also like I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually, well, I'm not 100% sure, but I remember when the bench came out, I wasn't sure whether Caden was still a part of still community manager or not. But the bench was such a good. He was still a part, right, Roger? He must have left at some point during. But yeah, the bench on Instagram, the bench page was such a good way to build up hype without it wasn't like spoiling too much. It was like it was enough material to like get people back on the train also to like bring new fans closer to the series that we've come to love, like providing a free downloadable like link of the Dead Space comic, fucking wallpapers,
And also a guide for the cosplayers.
Yes, yeah. That was really cool. And,
Yeah, which helped to
Peeps was definitely happy about that. Sorry?
No, that helped Peeps can cosplay a lot in making some
Yes,
of the details
yeah.
of the suit.
We love him.
Peeps, our beloved. Peep be praised.
No, it was a very classic way of marketing because, having the web page, well, it wasn't like its own web page, but it was kind of like built on that idea, like old games like Manhunt used to do, would have its own fucking like website and you could click around, get images, get wallpapers for the game. It was a very nostalgic way of marketing a game, and I was very happy about that.
But it was kind of smart to hide the bench Instagram account throughout clues in that video.
No, you're right.
Yeah, once completed, you just figure out where it was. Like if it was a Facebook account or Instagram, and the community was very active, and found it to a few hours. Like I still remember that day. I still remember that day that we were in the voice channel when that video came out, and we were like, everyone like looking frame by frame on the video, finding the clues, well, Unitologist clues, and just pointing it out. So in this time stamp, there was like a letter E. On that stamp, O, and so on. Like it was a community effort, and it did pay it out.
I remember like people trying so hard, like over-analyzing it, and they like looked in like the completely wrong direction. Like they were looking at still images, they were looking at signs in the game's environment and trying to like see what a sign was saying when they were meant to be looking at those symbols pop up on the screen. It was it was such a good interactive, like that's what you need to do with like, well, it helps with marketing when you show community interactivity, and if you do a ton of that, you get the community engaged in your your product and your like what you're setting up. It just it's a good way to like bring the people back on board and to get them hyped without the over budgeting of having to like make expensive trailers and shit like that, and like posters or a New York like billboard, Times Square billboard,
just like it was
like
done in
game.
the past, basically. Like Dead Space, the original, the 2008 version, had a similar marketing strategy with the very well done trailers as well as the web page of the non survivors. Like, that was good marketing movement, which kind of strange that Callisto Protocol didn't had that thing, but to be fair, they had the how you call it, the episodes, the Helix episodes, which was very good. Like I did listen to them, and it was very good. But we'll get into details about that later on when we are going to discuss about Callisto Protocol. But regarding marketings, Modi did a fantastic job as well, being very transparent during their dev streams regarding audio, listening to the feedback of the community.
Very good dev streams. I love them showing, like, it is a very brave thing to do to show alpha footage. I know there's a massive bar at the bottom that says it's not final footage, but people are also fucking idiots, and we'll see that as what the final game looks like. Now, why more devs don't do this is probably a testament because people are fucking idiots and will think that's the final product. Because imagine if we didn't see no RE4 and the game released with the massive rain effect, and then everyone gave off about it on launch. The only reason they were able to fix that is because they showed footage that wasn't finished. So more devs need to do that because it clearly worked and it clearly made DSR better and RE4 better, because we would have had those old gun sounds for DSR if we hadn't seen that early footage.
I remember seeing the that footage of the Resident Evil rain effects, and I tried to not let it bother me because I'd certainly hoped that they would come around and like listen to the feedback, and they did, which was really like I'm great to hear that. It was great to hear that. The and as for the Dead Space dev live streams. I caught every single one live when it happened, along with like the rest of the Necro posting server, and we were just like analyzing everything, and thankfully we didn't have any of those like people in the Twitch chats saying, "Oh, why does Isaac look like that? Why does he move like that? Why is when he shoot his arm goes like that?" It's like fuck off.
Get me started, man.
Can you not read the disclaimer at the bottom of the fucking stream? And not only that, like after the first stream, the devs themselves had to like say like at the start saying, "Oh, keep in mind this is a work in progress." Like they saw the people complaining, and they're like, "All right, we gotta voice it now. We can't have it just written. We have to say this is a work in progress." And then eventually, most of the people started coming around by the time of the like last dev stream.
That will always happen. Like you cannot avoid that. That will be always a part. Like it happens not only on Dead Space, like in general. You cannot avoid it. That's why good to do disclaimers and point it out, even at the beginning, at the end, so that those people or groups don't use it against you. But still, it won't matter because they're still going to use it. But there will be, how I call it, I consider like, I mean you did that, but they pointed out that no, this isn't going to be the final version.
Yeah, like had they not had that disclaimer, it would it's understandable why those people would be complaining a lot. But since there is a disclaimer, they have less reason to. Like during the Game Awards stream that I caught, there was just like during every preview, there's always going to be like a few people complaining about like one game preview that they see. I'm pretty sure like one of the first games they showed was like this weird, I don't know, the game didn't really explain anything, and a lot of people were just jumping to the conclusion it was like an NFT game or some shit. And there were just so many people complaining for no reason. It's like the game just got revealed and there's already complaints. Like fucking hell. If you can't play...
Bro, you guys... People don't want to play an NFT game? Like what? Are they crazy?
Oh my god, don't you guys have NFTs?
Don't you want to play Dr. Disrespect game?
I thought NFTs were the wave.
Bitcoin miners.
Don't you guys have phones?
It's a thing that I've never understood, and also I had some friends that during the COVID-2 situation, well, not only with an NFT, no, that time wasn't the NFT, it was the Bitcoins or whatever that currency is called, like just going straight for like very solid, like it's going to be the future, all that stuff. If you're just gonna put like $10 in that, I'm gonna make you money. Like I got that message from like several friends, and in the end they just kind of lost it.
So sorry.
And I was like, like you can tell me all you want, like I'm enjoying this keep up, but you're saying that, like I have my priorities. If you wanna spend your money how you want, fine, but I'm not gonna do it.
No.
Especially that it's not like a, how you call it, like a secure way to get to earn money.
Helios checks.
But Helios, all the cool kids are doing it.
No, people love glorified gambling for doing it.
I'm an old guy. I'm 25 years old. I don't have time for that.
He doesn't take Bitcoin. He grabs credits instead.
You think that's old?
I already feel old, but that's because I work at IT and I had to endure lots of complaints, lots of incidents. It's kind of doing numbers on my head.
Why you relate to Isaac Clarke so much?
I'm still saluting
man doing his job.
Everywhere. Especially I'll continue to salute IT workers like you, Helios, especially ones that work in fucking schools. The amount of crap that they had to go through. Like, I dropped my laptop. So, alright, well, I guess I'll repair it.
In a way, we are kind of the medics of the...
medic? Yeah.
Technology medic.
We are like this. Like, nowadays, without someone that knows IT to repair stuff or fix issues, it's kind of impossible to have like a business without having the minimum knowledge about it. And trust me, I have a lot of clients that don't even have that. And every time they have even the smallest problem, they need to call me or my coworker and just literally fuck our minds.
I love
With
just
how
the vitriol
dumb
in your
it-
voice.
Yes.
The marker's getting to you, and well, it got to them first, and now it's getting to you.
Exactly. Alright, we are straying away from this space. So
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring up the
so
marker.
wrapping up
This is where we make the connection to Dead Space.
exactly.
Yeah, markers.
Well,
The,
except religion.
you know,
Religion isn't part of this yet.
Well, speaking of IT, we can get back into, I guess, the engineering of Isaac Clarke. Well, more so I guess,
The Free Dementia
jumping back-
credit.
jumping back into like the remake for the first time. Everyone's like first impressions of the intro. I was blown away. Like not even just visually, but like I was happy to hear Gunnar Wright speak again, and I was very pleased with how Hammond and Kendra were like interacting with each other at the start. It was visually it was amazing, and dialogue wise it was really good. It was a really good setup for the remake. I was very happy with it. You guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it made it more natural between the characters, like regarding Hammond and his crew, like with Chan and Johnston. Like you'll notice that they knew for quite some time, and Kendra, well, being like a new addition, and also not being that how call it the same version as the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, like less initial hostility between each other. It's not until
Later on,
you know,
after chapter 4.
the marker reveal does Kendra get a little bitchy.
No, excuse me, on chapter 3.
Yes, yeah, true. In chapter 3.
That's when they are starting to have some conflict between them, between Hammond and Kendra. And also,
that big
Kendra
dense
was
area.
kind of nearby. I've seen a video regarding the location of the computer mainframe. It was kind of nearby.
Nearby the bridge or nearby the engineering?
It was between like the bridge, the tram station, and the room that you go through to hydroponics. Like there's like a block that you can see like computers, and it was like kind of barricaded the entry. So it's
Okay.
highly possible that Kendra is inside that area.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty
The-
cool.
I mean, you can use.
The-
I didn't use the free camera to confirm it personally, but it might be like a good plausible location. Because in the original, we didn't know exactly where that location was.
Like I always hypothesized it was in the bridge because at the time when Hammond and Kendra got separated, it happened. They got separated on the bridge when they were like
Yeah.
looking for the captain. And when you go to that one, fuck me, you go to one of the levels in the elevator on the bridge, and you go to the one where there's like tons of like panels everywhere with all this like binary code and all the ship's stats and systems like scrolling down. I feel like it's in that general area of like where all those panels are. Like I'm pretty sure in the original it was with like the gravity plating that was malfunctioning everywhere. But the
Yeah.
remake, obviously, they changed it for the electrical like surging through the bottom of the floor. I feel like it's generally like in that area where those panels are.
And the arrows also did like interesting parts for chapter 4. Like regardless where you go, like if you go to the mining area, no, to the mining control area, you know that there are when you enter the 2 enhanced slashers. If you activate that one first, and then you go to the area where the asteroid landed, in a way, the place will be off. Like you don't have to worry about the place anymore. They'll be like deactivated.
Oh, yes.
They will go just
gotcha.
freely.
There was also some well, I might get into it later. Actually, no, we're on topic of the area. The depending on the order in which you like turn those, you redirected power, you got like unique dialogue, of like Isaac and Hammond talking. And I'm pretty sure if you turn off the water purification systems down, like you redivert power there first, Isaac will make a comment saying, he'll comment on something saying, "Who knows what's down there?" Probably referencing what's down in the water purification part of the ship,
Making
which
like
could
an
hint
indirect.
to like the location of extraction.
Yeah, making
Yeah.
an indirect. How I call it? Yeah, just like you said.
Yeah,
Mentioning
yep.
indirectly extraction, which does make sense because in the water treatment there were like the grabbers and nothing else, like the remaining of that mini boss, well, of that boss, that could have just
Oh,
mutated
yeah.
into a different creature.
The urchin.
Bro, I'm so fucking glad. You know, all the rule set, like Isaac will only speak when he's talking to. I'm so glad they just fucking went away with that immediately. Because, like, the fact that he talks so much more, well, just in general, and like it's not. He talks when it's natural, but it's not
Yes.
following the rule set that they applied. Like they completely just told like the rule set they said on the death stream to go fuck itself, and just had him talking like whenever, which is great because
Yeah.
War Gunner is best Gunner.
There
It's
was
just it was fucking fantastic.
It also makes
The rules
comments
are-
when he runs out of ammo, like
Yeah,
talks shit about CSC, like CSC piece of shit.
leave it to fucking DC, you piece of shit. Like they're so much fun, dude. I love them.
Fuck. I love where you just have ammo. He goes, "Fuck." The Yeah,
Glorious.
the rules. I believe there were two. So there was that one where like he won't speak unless he's spoken to or someone's asking a question. But then there was the second rule of like he'll also speak when it's he would speak in situations in which it would be weird if he was quiet. Which in the broad sense, that's kind of what like he's doing in moments like when Chen gets stabbed or Hammond dies. Those moments are kind of like situations you probably wouldn't be silent, just eyeballing the entire thing.
I've always seen interactions with Dr. Mercer. Not the first
Yes,
one where he
yeah.
got stasis, if not
Yeah, in chapter 10.
the next ones, and also during the side quest, especially Nicole's side quest.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What did they do to you?
But yeah,
The,
let's discuss about the lore, like what additional
Oh,
lore
yeah.
the remake adds into the story.
So fucking heavy.
Because in the original, there were some things that didn't make sense. Like for example, did Isaac knew that Nicole was dead this whole time? But in the remake, we kind of get that answer.
we do. I was blown away
Yeah.
by the scene you get when you complete Nicole's side quest in chapter 10. I was just I was thrown aback after the scene ended. I was like, I think that's got to be like one of the most emotional I felt. The most emotional scene I've ever like seen in the entirety of Dead Space, and realizing the guilt in Isaac is more seated than just I sent my girlfriend to a ship and didn't know that she would die on it.
Yeah.
It was so much like these are your final words that you ever said to her, and now you can't take that back. It's just such a fucked feeling, and I fucking loved it.
Which sadly
People
just
working on
happens
that.
sometimes in real life. Like when you finish a relationship or something happens, like it's like a possible situation that can happen in the real life. Like it's not like something that it just happens in movies. No, it's a situation that can happen.
Yeah.
It's a relatable experience. Like if you want to make your characters like likable, you have to make them relatable. And
Exactly.
that's like the scene itself. Like you can kind of understand like why Isaac said the things he did, because he was emotionally charged. He just lost both his parents to like the religion he hated. But then you
Yeah.
also want to sympathize with Nicole because she really was doing the best
Her
she
best.
could. Yeah. So like it's a double-edged sword, and that's what makes this like Isaac. Like that's why I feel that's one of Isaac's most defining like bits of emotional like storytelling.
Yeah.
It was just so it was so it's just so emotional. Like I
It's,
literally don't know how else to say it.
Now that
Yeah,
you
it's
mentioned his parents' death, we kind of also got a glimpse on how powerful the unitologist indoctrination is like it's very effective.
And how big it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if neither Nicole was able to save Octavia, which by the way, the person that the marker was appearing to Nicole was using Octavia to mess with her. She will hear her voice, seeing her appearance, like it was pointed out in the. Where was it? Oh yeah, it was in the text log that you will unlock after completing the game.
Oh really? Oh
Yes.
shit.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah, just like that
yeah,
infamous text log that kind of mentions Jacob A. Danik. Like, that guy was fucking Isaac Clarke since 2508. Like, that guy is a Chad. Facts, Isaac. I'm the one that took your mother remaining as well your father.
Hey Danik, do you know who Candace is? Your mother killed herself, Isaac.
And I took her remains. And I put it in the fridge. And I drank a good sun drink.
That text log you're referring to, the one you get in New Game Plus,
it's from Nicole's perspective.
It's not in her office, right?
No, it's the one that you can get after completing the game. When you start a New Game Plus, you'll get a few text logs. Explain a bit more of the lore, and one of them is related to Nicole's dementia episodes. Well, the marker effects on Nicole. And as well the more details on what happened. Well, basically showing the testament, well, unquote, Octavia's testimony. No, testament. Yeah, like in case she would die, all her belongings will go to the church instead to Isaac.
I really loved the direction they took Nicole, making her a more integral part of the story, and not just a whole. I need to fix this ship, and just completely forget about the girlfriend, like part of the story until it's deemed necessary to like bring her back in like chapter 7 and 11.
But here it does like you don't see her that much, but you feel your main quest to why you came to the ship. In the form of the side
She's
quests.
not forgotten. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the extra dialogue for where you are with the side missions. Like when you see Nicole, I think it's the second to last chapter, and you see her again, there's more dialogue for if you've done her side quest. Like, he's like, I know what happened with like the hunter and shit. It's cool to see that optional dialogue. And when Isaac kills the hunter, I completely forget what his name is, and it's completely lost on me, which is kind of embarrassing. But when he kills him without doing the lore, he's like, "Oh, you piece of shit, fuck yourself." When he like knows like what happened to him, all the fucked up shit, he like sympathizes with him, and he's like, "Well, now you're at ease." And it's cool to see that optional dialogue.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Realizing that it was Harris this whole time, which we kind of had like our guess. Like, who was the hunter? If I'm not mistaken, I think the British Runner made a video about it. And it was kind of on it, but there weren't like enough to prove that it was Harris.
Yeah. But now it's concrete, essentially.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
In terms of that unique dialogue that you mentioned, Papa Red, so you mentioned the one with Nicole and the hunter. When you kill the hunter, there was actually even a little bit of changed dialogue. If you start the hunter quest after Kendra had already betrayed you in chapter 11, if you go back to retrieve the hunter's biomass from where you froze it, Isaac will be talking to himself instead of like Kendra contacting him saying, "You guard something, Isaac?"
so much good fucking variables, man. Like there's so much care put into that, and it's great to see. And it's like, I don't know,
the little details go the extra mile.
They do, yeah.
Mercer was so good as a villain.
Yeah, you know what?
Yes.
For the Dead Space villains, I'm pretty sure Remake Mercer probably takes a cake because he's such a menacing, evil fucker.
Both the original and the remake are very good. Like, they have that unique.
I didn't really like how Remake Mercer got taken out.
Yeah.
Compared
Yeah,
to
that's
OG.
that's one thing they could have done.
But in the
better, yeah.
original, we also like we didn't kill them. Well, I mean, if you were just letting Infector to transform it,
Yeah.
then yeah, you will have your revenge. But the way he dies in the original, I mean, yeah, it makes sense that he is a crazy ass unitologist, patching insane asshole. But in a way, it will make sense. But in the remake, I kind of preferred it a bit more because just like just like Kain said, like right now, with all the events that is happening on the colony and on the Yuji Shimura, which he points out, he doesn't fear death anymore. But feeling betrayed by his own religion and his beliefs, man, that will hurt a lot.
Yes, yeah.
Like he
If
got
death can't
betrayed.
scare him.
He got dead by what he thought it was going to be his god, and yeah, like you were just a pawn, mate. Like you just created a hunter, Isaac just destroyed it easily. Yeah, like I have no usage for you. Like just die. I'm just gonna convert you into biomass for later on when Isaac will go to retrieve the marker from the cargo home bay. That's it. Like I did prefer more the remake way that they did, which most people won't
That's definitely
agree.
a good point.
But I did feel that
I feel like it was just a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
I can understand it. Yeah.
Exactly.
If we saw him like pop like a balloon, it probably would help.
Or just seeing his remains.
His eyes fucking explode.
Yeah, or at least seeing his remains on chapter 11, at least being dismembered or having parts of his body just.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine if it was his like parts of his corpse or like skin or just like uniform or like on the marker, like the cargo thing it's on?
Yeah.
That'd be a little thing here and there, but what could have been.
Nice.
The the first game was very limited in its in its tech. So they could get away with some things, they couldn't get away with other things, and they didn't admittedly know how to have scenes with Mercer and Isaac in the same room. So they put them behind a fucking window, which I was never really a fan of. And yes, admittedly there are some moments like that in the remake, but I was so glad that Mercer's first introduction was in person. Admittedly, Isaac.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Now that you pointed out the limitations of, well, later on we'll be talking about it. Like, Yufari will know like a lot of stuff that were like limited for the speedrunning compared to the original.
Yeah, fair enough. The way they made him, he was intimidating in both dialogue and the way he presented himself. Like he was very. I feel like he was more composed until like the very end of the game than like what he was in the original. Like in the original, it was like the future of our race ends here. He's so vocal about his beliefs, and in the remake, he's still a believer, but he's very composed. He's like, convergence is installed. She's meddling.
That's such a good line.
Yeah.
The reason Marco won't begin. He's very
I mean, he knew that Nicole was dead, but
we'll get into Kine a bit later. But I feel like Mercer's composure is done just the right amount with his he's both crazy and composed at the same time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Kine is a bit more
cryptic,
a bit
tactic,
more
and creepy as well.
Yes, yeah. Fucking looking at Isaac's crotch when he lowers his arm in stasis. Dr. Chalice, Mercer. And then just you see his eyes dart down a little bit.
Yeah.
I did like that they added the fact that he and Isaac were colleagues. Made it feel a little more personal in that scene, and
Mercer had huge respect for Nicole.
Yeah.
I have never shown anything.
Well, the hologram scene was because you're just watching Nicole. Just fucking messing with files. The hologram Mercer just behind both of you the whole time.
Yeah, thinking.
That was fucking freaked me out.
Yeah, he was thinking, I'm going to use the stasis module on her, or just gonna wait to see what would happen.
I didn't even see that the first time. I was like looking all at Nicole on the table, at the table, and then I just hear Dr. Brennan, and then I look to my right, I'm like, oh shit, fuck! Oh my God, this is so bad. And then when I replayed the game and I watched the scene from like the corner of the room to see the whole thing, I realized Mercer like raised up his arm like he did with Isaac, but he didn't fire his stasis. So I'm like, ooh, that's a neat little detail. Mercer thought he could get away with talking her out, sort of thing.
Yeah, but it was kind of impossible, especially knowing that Nicole was like helping out people to
Leave the church.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But he did respect her. He did respect her abilities.
Yeah.
Especially that she kind of helped him into creating a hunter with her notes. When she did it up to on the slasher and as well for her own investigations of the growth, well, of the corruption.
Yep.
So yeah, she is indirectly responsible for making Harris a hunter.
Feels bad. No, but the lore is just like overall, it's a lot more refined and it's a lot better. Especially because we've got so much more lore from like DS2 and DS3. It was nice to hear mention of Brethren Moons again after so long.
Yeah, from Harris' perspective, like after
Too true.
Mercer will insert the sample into his eye.
Yep.
That's a reference.
Very pretty. And all the secret logs as well, talking about Brethren Moon and even some of the marker shards. The marker shards item descriptions really like lead into like DS3. I feel like
they do.
Talking about freezing the ice or melting the ice. Sorry, and causes one man to cause like a fucking death event. That's all very cool shit.
Wait, that was present.
It is nice to have like a double meaning. Sorry, Helios.
No, the fact with the ice that was present in the remake.
I believe so. It's something like that. It's like
I vaguely recall what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. The item descriptions in the inventory. If you look at the key items for the marker shards that you collect, they have a description for like each shard's location. And yeah, like at first it looks like they're referencing the location you're in. Like that I'm pretty sure that the one you were referencing, Puppet Bread, was the cryogenics one.
Yeah.
And then there'll be like one related to hydroponics and then one related to the bridge, but they do have a deeper meaning behind them, which was a really cool a little hidden detail.
So what do you guys feel about Hammond and Kendra?
I think Kendra, I like both. I like the remake and the original versions. I don't know. They're two very different characters. I feel like
they're very different. They're there are things with remake Kendra. They're a bit more make her feel a bit more human, more three-dimensional,
more friendly towards Isaac and Hammond.
Sorry,
no, with Kendra.
Sorry, Pelios. I was talking about that. The Kendra, like she starts suffering the same hallucinations that Isaac does. Having she did that in the original, but now it's done to like more effect. And over the voice call, she has a voice call with Isaac, but it's happening live of her experiencing it for the first time of her younger brother. It was a really good and the final one that you hear in chapter 11 where she's like making a break from the mainframe. And she's like making a break for the door, and she like has to get. I just imagine like the kid just standing there, just looking at her like, "What are you doing?" But remake Kendra. I feel like she was a bit fleshed out, but I can understand why people prefer probably the original one for more of a more of a badass, or like she's likable in that she is hateable. Like they love her because they love to hate on the fact that she's constantly like not to be trusted.
Yeah, but anyway, the original kind of did her job bad, because if you're a spy, you need to be gaining the trust of your colleagues. So with Isaac, it was very obvious. Like she went with a more friendly approach, as also Hammond. Like she wasn't having that attitude like in the original. Like she was concerned about Hammond, Isaac, and also helping.
Hello?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, you broke out. Yeah, you broke up a little bit. Did anyone hear the last bit?
Oh, not that. I was saying that in the remake, Kendra was like acting more friendly, doing her job as a spy way more better than the original. Like going on attitudes wouldn't get you far. And also that she was helping them more.
It's not until Hammond's separation does she like then start to divide like Isaac between Hammond, like trying to like put a wedge between them to like trick Isaac into thinking that Hammond can't be trusted.
Yeah. Especially that Hammond is a CC worker. Yes, so it makes sense to why he's starting to put the blame on Hammond, because he made the team, he brought them on the Yojishimura, so Kendra was kind of in a way right to start to suspect Hammond, not knowing about the real intention of the mission. But just like Hammond said in the captain's nest, like his pay grade isn't that high to know these details unless you're both CSE and high rank unitology. And
yeah, fuck the CC and fuck the chain of command. Oh, I missed that one. I do miss that one.
Yeah,
same here.
But it was nice to get the confirmation about Kendra and EarthGov, because I don't know if EarthGov was an established like lore point back in DS1. No, so we just kind of like assumed that, she must be like a unitologist.
Nah, just the government and that's it.
Yeah, the government. Never said
government's bad, not EarthGov, but it's nice to see that like retcon happen.
Now it's official.
At least Kendra was like very still like after betraying Isaac, she was like still believing that Isaac would get out of Yojishimura.
Yeah, she didn't have it out for him, which was cool. She was just doing her job.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more divide in Hammond's betrayal than there was in Kendra's, to be honest. Whether that's like both line delivery, or like the way he actually is like implemented in the story. With Hammond, like I feel like with the original Hammond, he was, how do I put it? Like his death was more badass. It wasn't like as emotional as I might be getting a few listeners like heated right now by saying that I wasn't really too upset with original Hammond's death. Like he went out like a Chad at least, but yeah, I wasn't like emotional about it. Whereas like in the remake, he had this like whole like.
I wouldn't say that he went out like a Chad, because he does say tell you how to kill a brute, and he just died by a brute without doing the thing that he told Isaac. So I don't know if I should go to Chad, but yeah, it looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked amazing, but it also didn't make sense. Like it was maybe that's not the best way to put it. It was ironic that he died and he was doing the exact opposite of like what he told Isaac to do. All
right. You were recording a lot earlier.
Can you hear me,
Brody?
Sorry.
Alright, I can hear you. No, I didn't hear you because you were like cutting constantly.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So it's kind of ironic that that was the way Hammond died. Dying of the exact same, dying the way because he didn't do the thing that he told Isaac to do. But as for the remake death, we didn't know Chen all that well, because it's harder for the audience to like share the same guilt. Sorry, not guilt. Trauma. Yeah, good word. It's hard for them to relate to Hammond because they don't know Chen well enough as like Hammond does. So there was this whole arc going for Hammond of like him confronting Chen, which he originally eventually started to think that Chen was still alive, thanks to the hallucinations. I'm glad that like Hammond's like tripping even more in the remake than he was in the original.
Yeah, exactly. Like during
the original, he only like has
two
voices. he has a.
Nope. Can you
I
hear
was. So the. Yeah. I was sorry. I was talking, and then you talked. So I wasn't sure if you wanted me to stop. I was going to mention so in the original he had like 2 lines of dialogue. One of those was optional, where he voices his hallucinations, like seeing them. Whereas like in the remake, I feel like it's done a bit more. It was definitely more emotional, like the way he went out in the remake, like all this build up, and then at least he died. Having finally realized that Chen wasn't with him anymore. Like at first I thought he was still gonna believe that was Chen, and like Chen was gonna kill him, but then he's like, no, you're what killed him.
Yeah,
and
he realized.
Pushes him in. And thank fuck that explosion didn't kill didn't fuck with the singularity core.
He realized after he snapped off he snapped off the hallucination. Like during his whole time on the USM battle, he was like suffering hallucinations, and at the end when he was like almost close to death, he realized what was in front of him, and did the sacrifice to go out with Chen and allow Isaac to get the shock point drive.
Yeah,
like he literally
was helps that scene.
It was like literally hallucination that he was inside the USG Shibura at that moment.
Yeah,
that's true.
That was a little neat thing I didn't realize until my second playthrough, like why he was saying that.
No, but what I think elevates that scene so much is just because Isaac speaks, and Gunnar drops a really good fucking performance, like he does for the whole game. But like the no that he screams when Hammond goes out, it's fucking blood curdling, man.
Yeah, like it's emotional.
He's genuinely. I can't remember if that one changes when you're on low health. I believe it does, but like the low health version of that, fuck man, when I was getting that, I was like, damn, that was pretty good. It was so fucked.
It was really nice. Fuck, was it?
But in a way, they made Hammond more human rather than making him the hard soldier that he was in the original. Like, he was affected by the events, but he still tried to keep his calm.
Yeah.
And he wasn't being useless either. Like in the remake, he instead of going to hydroponics and suffocating to death like he almost did in the original, he instead goes to the crew deck to look for survivors, and in doing so, he realizes that there's fucking crazy unitologists in the deck, so he has to go hiding. But then he manages to realize that the marker's in the crew deck, because I'm pretty sure initially Kendra in chapter 3 says the markers in cargo all packed up ready to be delivered, but by the time of chapter 7, the unitologist must have moved it from the cargo to the crew deck.
I think in the original was chapter 4 in the conversation that Hammond and Kendra has after he reaches the bridge.
Yep, that was in the
because
original.
Because it's Hammond that points it out that it's in the cargo.
Yes, but I was just talking about the remake. In the remake, it's in chapter 3. Kendra. So Hammond's like, where's this marker at now? And Kendra's like, in cargo, all packed up, ready to be delivered.
So originally it was in cargo bay, but then the unitologists moved it, thanks to Jacob Temple. But yeah, like they also did justice to the side characters, to Jacob Temple and Elizabeth Cross.
Yeah,
they had more meaning in the remake.
Yeah, it's true. I enjoyed seeing the whole arc and being a part of it, because we actually got to interact with Cross, and that fucked up reveal at the end, which I was not expecting. My goofy ass legitimately thought, fuck, she must have been dead on the floor when Temple got, and I just never noticed because I was busy shitting myself. But then, boom, the ending reveal hit, and I was just like, what the fuck? It took me quite a bit to finish fucking DSR, so it's been 2 weeks for me to get to that ending. So I was like, if they would have put a reveal like that, I probably would have known, but they just fucking came out of nowhere. and it fucking blew me away.
Yeah, during that moment, there were people like saying that Nicole was like smiling the whole time that Isaac was looking at the last video that Nicole sent, but she wasn't smiling. She was like concerning about having a pistol pointed at her head.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going to point out on the
mod
exactly
to yeah, I'll have to use the photo mode mod to like get up close and like get a better shot of Nicole's face.
There's no need. I do have a clip that I recorded weeks ago, so I can put it on the podcast once it's edited. Well, when it's going to be released, maybe from here 1 month, 2 months, depends.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, but yeah.
But one of my favorite, what probably, you know what the remake done best for me, I feel like, is the revamped weapons. Because I didn't use many. I'm a bit of a pulse rifle pleb, I'm not even gonna lie. So I'd probably take the plasma cutter and the pulse rifle, maybe the line gun in the original. But in the remake, I always dabble with all of the weapons unless it's like an impossible run and I actually want to like get a good setup. But like all the weapons are so fucking fun to use. The force gun, blasting their flesh off. I love the pulse rifles, like Proxim grenade.
Mm-hmm.
The line guns, traps, the laser traps are fucking phenomenal. Like all the weapons are so much fun to use.
The line gun is the meme weapon.
My god.
It's
such a good weapon throughout the entire game with its alt fires. The alt fires are like I love the original ones. Mine, like I always found it so satisfying to like group up necromorphs and just drop a mine and like just watch all the limbs blow away. But now in the remake, now it's a bit more strategic, having to set up like it's kind of like the detonator from Dead Space 2.
I don't know if they
explosive. It's just
got that inspiration from Star Wars. Honestly, with the lasers.
Is my volume down for you, Helios?
No, it's okay.
Okay, sorry. It's just you were talking when I was talking about the line gun.
Yeah, I know that there's a little delay.
Lasers. It's a lot of delay in that case. Yeah. I feel like as a whole bread, the whole bread.
The whole bread, the whole loaf.
Make us whole bread. As a whole proper bread, the gameplay in general for the remake was just such a well-needed improvement, both in movement, in gameplay, like in combat. It was just and also ways you could play with optional paths, so to speak, with the diverting power using the fuses, which is a really neat feature. I'd usually see people doing the leaving oxygen on, then turning life support off in those cases. And what was the other thing? The fact that I feel like the game is a bit more you can do if you have a mission with multiple objectives, you can go and do you can do different objectives in any order. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a little bit more free in the directions you go to complete the objectives.
Oh yeah. It's a lot more freeing.
But yeah, the weapons, they did a fantastic job, except the Reaper. The Reaper is the worst.
Yeah, man, the Reaper's fun, man. It's not the best weapon, but like the skin damage, it helps it.
On easy difficulties, it helps a lot, but for hard or impossible, it's not worth it. Especially the special upgrades, like what it gives, free special perks, just an additional bounce. Like, come on, add something interesting. Like, I don't know, electric charge or something like that.
I was definitely let down by the Ripper. Agreed. The whole bounce, the fucking ricochet ability for the old fire was just so redundant, especially on the fact that like it's never a guaranteed it's gonna like hit the target as well. It's just you have to leave it up to luck.
And not only that, but it'll also hit you.
Yes, yeah. If you shoot like directly ahead, in front of a wall or something. I do like though how they brought back the special nodes to add some like new alt fires, and not only that, but like to add multiple spec nodes, especially like I would think the plasma cutter shines in that aspect, getting incendiary fire, increased capacity, and fucking weighted blades, my beloved.
The bits.
The weighted blades are so fun. It's kind of broken as well, especially against slashes. But yeah, I was so happy with how they went with that, adding spec upgrade. Like I predicted it too. In a video talking about like remake ideas about how they could bring back spec upgrades from Dead Space 2. But instead of my idea, which was to add multiple spec upgrades but making them mutually exclusive, so you can only get one or the other, they said, "Nah, we're gonna make you can get all the upgrades so long as you do all the exploring in the game and do all the side quests." I like how they made the side quests, optional. It's not like they're forcing people to do it, because I know some people like just care about the main story, but it really goes to show like who's a true like Dead Space fan, because they want to get all the loot, the good shit, to have a better like experience and more fun, or see some more secrets. And so yeah, hiding some of those upgrades behind a side quest was a really good move.
It would have been fun if they added, I don't know, the 360 attack for the pulse rifle or the shotgun.
God. Yeah, true. I would have, seeing a flechette alt fire on the pulse rifle would have been fun. That's what I thought they'd do with the spec upgrades for it, because you see the barrels on the pulse rifle go outwards to the sides when you pick it up for the first time. So I thought that was like going to be a alt fire that you can change on the gun via like getting the spec upgrade for it, or getting like the flechette shotgun or something like that.
But yeah, that wasn't the case.
Can you imagine if like Isaac? Sorry.
But that wasn't the case in the end.
Yeah, unfortunately not. The it would have been cool to see. I just had like a random idea where like you see Isaac changing, like he maybe like presses a button on the front of the gun during like maybe it's like a third, like so you got the primary fire, you got the secondary fire, then you got, imagine like a tertiary fire for the pulse rifle. You click a button and Isaac like clicks a switch on the side of his pulse rifle, and it changes the barrel configuration, so it goes from proximity mine launcher to the 360 fuck everything button to to the flechette shotgun barrel. Like it'd be cool if you could see like the barrel of the pulse rifle changing.
Well, at least the Callisto Protocol do have that feature, in a way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, in Dead Space Remake they do. You upgrade a weapon and they change in appearance, same as it does in the Callisto Protocol. That was one of the things I really liked about the Callisto Protocol, was you actually upgrade the weapons and they change in appearance, minus the stun baton. The only thing that changes with that is just the electricity color.
Yeah.
Getting more damage, as well adding like new attacks, new blocks. But yeah, like regarding other weapons of the Dead Space Remake, at least they made flamethrower way more useful than the original.
Thank God.
I think they went a little bit too overboard with it, to be honest. It's a little bit OP.
But
they must have heard the amount of like feedback on like the fucking Dead Space subreddit, people complaining of the flamethrower was like, oh, it's too underpowered, and so
yeah, but still it doesn't work in the voice.
Told Motive saying the council told Motive you got to buff the plasma. You got to buff the flamethrower.
But still, it doesn't work on vacuum areas. Fuck.
Well, unfortunately.
Yeah, but still, the Dead Space 2 variant is the most powerful of all.
If the AI directors fucked you like it did me that one time where it summoned like 50 fucking swarmers when I'm trying to do plasma cutter only, and I have no way to kill them. Sometimes
it's so low on ammo.
What you really need.
Did it also spawn that exploder? Alongside those swarmers?
That exploder. That fucking exploder in that clip you got, Callisto, in one of those streams where like the fucking exploder like deliberately
leaves.
He gives you a chance. He knows like, oh man, this engineer's gone through a lot. I might give him a second wind here.
And the worst part, that was an impossible difficulty. If it was a normal, then I will accept that death easily, but it was impossible, and I didn't save, so I was like, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. But he just, I'm just gonna do 180, and then you can finish me off later on, mate.
It's so funny.
But I didn't expect it for the intensity director to spawn swarmers and an exploder nearby.
I feel like that's one of the things that really improved the remake, was the introduction of the the intensity director.
Yes.
Adding that like helped to improve both replay value and like also the enjoyment of the combat, knowing like when you backtrack through the Ishimura and you come back to a previous deck that you've already cleared, you if you're playing on easy, you could find just a lurker or a slasher. If you play on hard, you might go and see an assortment of divider parts and an exploder. I do like how it's a bit how it is scaled. So if you do play on hard difficulty, you'll have a higher chance of seeing more late game enemies.
Especially that the intensity director has like over 1,000 possible events, which I don't know, like 300, 400 of them, maybe the number is higher, are enemy related spawns.
Yeah.
But that only shines when you backtrack, like if you want to do the side quest or just want to go back to unlock a certain locked room after you got to the clearance level. That's where it shines the best, but in general, it doesn't affect that much, to be fair.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the only downside.
It's what is it? What I was gonna say. It's thankfully it's only on when you're backtracking, you're not going through because everything's normal on the first time through. I can't imagine Fiery playing like speedrunning the game for the first time and realizing that imagine if they did make the director randomize things when you play through the deck normally on the first time. I can I know speedrunners hate RNG and that would just fuck them up.
It's a little bit of A and B. Like some people really like RNG, some people hate RNG. I think to me it's like it depends on the RNG and how unbalanced / fair it is. Like because there's like Left 4 Dead RNG, and then there's like Resident Evil 4 Remake RNG.
Yeah.
But I think RNG is like a really good thing, and like in doses, because it keeps a game fresh and it keeps a game live. Like especially for speedruns, right? Like if you have a lot of RNG, like it's gonna make a speedrun like never dead necessarily. Like if it has a lot, like original RE3 is like one of the most RNG speedruns out there, right? People reset based on RNG like in like 20 different spots throughout the run. It's really brutal. But because of that, it's like kind of similar with Left 4 Dead, but it's a bit different. But it makes it harder to optimize, and it makes it like a big balance of like luck and skill, where it's like you can't fully optimize this game for like years, because it's still, you'd have to get like the perfect results of RNG to actually allow you to do that, and then you'd also have to have the skill to back it up. So it is. Sorry, what?
No, you go.
So it is like it's a double-edged sword. I think it's like RNG is like good in some cases, other cases it's just complete ass. if you can't make like if you can't make almost anything in a game consistent, then it's just like it's kind of it's just very unenjoyable. Like it can be enjoyable, but it's just like so annoying to like go through, because then it's like you're in a spot where it's just like I can't do anything. It's literally just up to the game.
Yeah. It is good they did it in doses, like you said. In moderation, RNG can be good. But yeah, it is like I'm guessing the only thing you'd have to worry about on your first, I meant to say that the backtracking is completely optional in the game. So people don't have to, if they don't, if people aren't a fan of the whole RNG thing, they just they don't need to bother backtracking. They might have less of a chance to survive if they're bad at the game and they need upgrades. But in most cases people can live without the without backtracking, and they don't have to worry about those RNG encounters with who knows what fucking necromorphs on the other side of a door.
I mean,
Yeah, and even
they
then
wouldn't need to
speedrunning
backtrack on certain
Yeah,
moments
even-
when you need to go. For example, chapter 7, where you need to go back to the elevator. You might encounter some enemies lurking around, and that cannot be avoided if the director decides, oh, you complete the area that you were previously fast. No worries, I'm gonna throw some enemies on you. Let's see how fast you do it, mate.
Yeah, he's definitely Sensor Director is one ugly motherfucker, and he's out to get you, and he's not your friend. No, I don't trust him.
The bad thing is when it throws like consistently, like consecutively. If you backtrack a lot, like oh yeah,
Yeah.
you want to backtrack to that area, you have like 3 areas to pass through. First area, some enemies. Second area, you thought you were safe. No, mate. No, no. You're going to fight more. And then the third area, no worries. It's 3 in a row. More enemies, some speeders, or worse. But yeah, the thing is, on the New Game Plus, the Phantom. Oh yeah, when you complete the game for the first time and you go into New Game Plus, you'll encounter a new type of enemy, a new variant, the Phantom, which are literally bullet sponge. But if you use like a metal bar with the TK and throw at them, it's just one shot, one kill. Well, one for one kill. You don't have to use
To go
ammo.
round.
Exactly. But you do encounter one of those when you complete to the Mercer side quest. When you get the stasis module. That's the first instant that you first when you are presented to the Phantom.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. When do you first encounter a phantom?
On New
When
Game.
you get the prototype stasis in New Game,
Exactly.
there's a Phantom Slasher in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean when you're playing for the first time?
Exactly,
in the,
and
like-
you've...
Oh,
Yeah.
before New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I thought that was an enhanced one. I honestly had no
No,
idea.
that's a
I have to look
Phantom.
back at that clip.
That is a Phantom. And that's
Okay.
the only one that you'll encounter throughout
It's like
the
the
New
Alpha
Game.
Phantom or whatever. Right?
Yeah. But they added it just for you to test out the prototype stasis module to see how effective it would be.
Oh, fuck yeah. Whenever I use the prototype stasis module, I just think of that, the one fucking scene from Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the fuck guy's face is just melting.
And the good thing is that the prototype can kill. Like, it's very useful against the swarmers, the divided parts, and even slashers. Like, if you are nearby a stasis recharge station, which, by the way, they don't have a cooldown. Like, you can recharge as many times as you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also they added more recharge stations throughout the whole Yoshishimura, making it way easier to recharge if you know that the next area is going to be complicated.
Yeah. That's nice of them.
But other than that, like mechanics, they added back the TK's system from Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3. The only thing that I don't like that is that you don't have to aim anymore. Like, so
it's very free,
launch
huh?
it where you want. Like, it just automatically locks onto the target and that's it. It is easy, but at least me personally as a veteran, I kinda have mixed. I'm kind of mixed on that.
Yeah.
Like, it's
At least
okay.
Give an ability to turn it off.
Yeah. The stasis module, well, they nerfed it a bit regarding the shots. Like in the original, you had, without upgrading it, you had 5 shots. And in the remake, you have 3. But when you upgrade it, you get more time, duration, and also area. Like, it creates like a bubble? Oh no, that's the canister. The stasis canisters. That when you use it,
Yeah.
it creates like a bubble, and everything that enters inside, all the enemies are affected.
Yeah, it was
It's
cool.
very
I like
good
seeing that.
for defense moments.
Yeah, well, I enjoy that the kinesis is actually like an option compared to what it was in the original. You can actually pick up blades and throw them and pin motherfuckers to the wall.
Yeah, not just the blades, but also the fire extinguishers. Like they can finish up a lurker when he extends
Oh, yeah.
his three tentacles. Just wait for it
That's
to
true.
extend it and then launch the fire extinguisher, which is it's kind of smart that they presented it at chapter 2 when when Isaac goes to grab the captain's rig. Like he uses a fire extinguisher to push him away.
Yeah, great scene, by the way.
Exactly. Well, that was the track tentacle from the original moment.
Yeah, it's a great scene. Like, as someone who animates, it just like pleases my animator brain because it's all animated so fucking fluently. To how Matthias is like fucking chins on Isaac and it moves across. It's just looking at us like, fuck, that took so much effort, and I respect that. But overall, it's a great scene. Like, I love it.
Yeah, they did do improvements on some animations, but kind of dumb bummer that Isaac doesn't have any more idle animations like in the original.
Yeah, that's one thing that the original does better on is the idle animations, and I don't know if when Isaac gets the hunch when he sees the first slasher, when the first slasher about to come up as a coincidence, that could be literally just a because you can't sprint in that beginning sequence, you can only walk, so that could absolutely just be a transition to being able to run like from whatever animation you're on, and it just looks like that he gets on edge. Like, that could be clearly a coincidence, and it could not be an actual detail at all.
Maybe.
But it'd be nice to see that again. But
Yeah, as soon as the quarantine lockdown activated, that's when like he starts like hunching over.
he gets back problems immediately.
Yeah.
But that could be a coincidence. That could have been on purpose by Visceral. We don't know. Or the EA Red Shores, I should say.
Another thing that was burned in the original was Dr. Kine. Like the remake version, it's okay, but they couldn't like put the performance on the same level that Keith done to Kine for the original.
No, I agree. I think Old Kine is definitely better.
It's kind of weird that they didn't wait for him to reprise his role as Kine.
Well, it remains to be seen whether he was either unavailable, he didn't want to, or Motive just outright didn't ask him. It would be a shame if they did what Cold War did, where they just didn't contact the original voice actor of Woods, because he said he would have loved to voice Woods again for Cold War, but was it Treyarch Activision? Which one did Cold War?
I think Treyarch was on Cold War.
Treyarch. Alright. Yeah, they just didn't contact him in the first place, which is really unfortunate to hear.
I don't think they got Mason either. I don't think they got him back. And Hudson's changed the voice actor every game anyway.
But Hudson's at least Hudson's voice actor actually does a serviceable job to like recreate Hudson's voice. At least in the trailers I saw.
No, I was just gonna bring up the absolute like reprieve of just like, thank God Gunner's back in the game, because when they announced that shit was hype. Like, everyone was losing their fucking minds. Like, I'm pretty sure like DSN, that call was absolutely on fire as soon as Gunner Wright came up on the screen.
That was clipped forever. Our like reaction of Gunner returning. It was amazing.
And there were people
Everyone's
that were
shouting, Chad.
And then there were people that were like, nah, why they put it in a voice to Isaac?
It was just appropriate. Like, there's no reason not to put Gunner in there.
Yeah, especially that it kind of needs a voice, because the original, at that time, having a silent protagonist was kind of, how I call it, noble thing, but nowadays it will make sense.
Yeah.
And if they went with a different voice actor, then I would understand the backlash. But the thing is that they went straight to Gunner Wright to reprise his role as Isaac Clarke, so that was a big win to get him back. Like,
absolutely.
Now we can say that Gunner Wright is the Isaac Clarke of Dead Space.
Yeah.
The with Gunnar Wright and him being voiced again in the remake, it was it also went the extra mile to just improve the narrative of the story, like the storytelling itself. Having him actually like engage with the people and like learning more about Isaac and his backstory with Nicole and his parents was just so good.
Yeah.
You'd never get that shit out of like the first game unless it was, you know, a text log explaining it to you.
Yeah,
I think
with
the
those
kind of
text
character-
logs, with those text logs will be just backstory logs that you get after completing the game. But during the game, we won't find that much details to Nicole or I don't know, just in general. It'll be more about what happened on the colony, about the ship, from the perspective of several characters that are just there for lore purposes. But yeah, with the remake, they did do justice to some of those elements. Well, regarding characters, they did justice to Jacob Temple, Elizabeth Cross, Isaac Hammond, to almost everyone except to Kine. But I do not hate, like I do not dislike the remake of Kine. Like it was obvious, like he wanted to make amends for what he did.
Yeah.
And everything, and also that he and Nicole were like working on it, especially like that Nicole was trusting Kine to a certain point that it will leave the audio log from from the beginning of Dead Space 2 to keep it safe.
Yeah, that was nice to see. It was nice to hear that log again.
Yeah, hearing Isaac calling Nicole Nikki.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was improvised too. It's amazing to see that like a former Visceral dev, Chuck Beaver, is like more optimistic and more happy to see like these remake changes than like some people in like the Dead Space community who were just so negative during like the development cycle.
Yeah.
His series was awesome with with Brian. I loved it.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of hate like during the alpha that were kind of, I don't know, kind of weird, honestly. Like being transparent, like with the developers being that transparent was kind of weird nowadays. Like the only company that comes into my mind to be this transparent would be Warframe, Digital Extremes, but from other series, from AAA studios, well, AAA companies such as Electronic Arts, yeah, it wasn't like a normal thing, and the developers for Skate kind of went with the same approach. But yeah, I haven't heard anything new from those developers, so I don't know how Skate is going on. Especially then nowadays he's kind of popular thanks to the Jesus, which we kind of need to do a Dead Space version of that. But yeah, other details that we didn't point out of Dead Space Remake.
What about performance? You know, especially like I know.
I have a good experience with this one.
Yeah, I know two people had a rough experience.
Oh, brother.
It depends. It depends. Like regarding the PC, it depends. On console, it was okay, but for PC, just yeah. I mean, there are a lot of combinations like CPU, GPUs that to some might work perfectly, but to some might work like poorly. Like it depends.
Yeah.
For console, it's easier to develop games because you only have one hardware to work on, to make the patches, the optimizations, and all that stuff. But for the PC, yeah, that's going to be a tough
Yeah, there's a
challenge.
fuck ton of
honestly.
variables there.
But me personally, I didn't have that much issue. I mean, I did
okay.
at the beginning. I did have like some stuttering, especially when I was having the game installed on regular SSD. But when I switched it to an M2 SSD, yeah, the starting was still present there, but not as much. And as well, the game does have the new integrated, so it might affect in a way the game. I don't know to what certain point, but performance regardless, compared to other AAA games that were released last year and this year, yeah, I would say it's that's 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it's too fair in its credit. Like you said, it has run better than most PC ports have came out. Last of Us Part 1. But, like, I absolutely got soft locked in a room for about 2 weeks in real time until a patch came out, which, you know what, sure, like, I'll give them benefit of the doubt, but fuck, was that painful, being stuck in one room for 2 weeks straight.
Which
Like,
one are you referring?
On chapter 12, it's, how do I explain this room?
The elevator.
When you have to put the 4 batteries in, and you go out and you shoot the fucking orange shit. But I was stuck in there for 2 weeks because the batteries just would not spawn. So I was just stuck in there.
Sorry, and
I was in fucking agony because I was like, I'm on chapter 12. I'm so close to beating this fucking game.
And it was impossible difficulty, or it was a regular?
No, it was regular difficulty. It was my first playthrough, so I was just playing on like normal or hard, whatever I chose. I can't remember. I think it was normal.
Yeah.
But it was fucking rough. It was so painful. Like I just didn't think about it because I really did not want it to affect my overall opinion because I was having a fucking blast up until that point. But do you know what? In all fairness, they patched it. At least it's not in a month. They've done it in 2 weeks, which is it's kind of reasonable. But and I was able to beat the game, and then hats off to them. But that was fucking agony for those 2 weeks. But
so close to the end. Like I
know.
I can understand the grief.
I'm so sore.
At least you didn't have to experience.
There's still soft locks in the game.
Like I've never had a soft lock yet. Remains to be seen whether after these patches I still get one. But the only problems I've had at the moment were a few crashes here and there, and I'm pretty sure it was that I don't think I ever got a recording of what I was doing when I did it, so I wasn't sure if I was switching weapons, which caused that glitch, because I heard talk
the void
that,
one.
the void one.
Yeah.
I've heard talk that it was related to switching weapons, which I don't know how the fuck that can happen in the first place. What kind of code fuck up would make that happen? But it was crazy to hear. Besides
that fucked over a fucking world record impossible speedrun for me.
Oh no.
Fucking hell.
That one wasn't exclusive to impossible difficulty, or it was also present on the other difficulties. I remember that
as well.
I can remember that I had that issue.
But impossible doesn't have checkpoints, so
I had that issue twice when I was doing the impossible, in the first days. And it was always happening at chapter 6, and I didn't even to switch the weapons at that time, and it still happened, and I was like, holy moly, it kind of demoralized me a lot. And also, I didn't realize, weeks later, that you could save as many times as you can on impossible. I just thought that you can only save once and that's it, but I didn't know that you had a whole save slot available to you to save as many times as you wanted. And when I realized that, I was like, good lord gracious, I could have just finished that fucking nightmare at the beginning, but so nah, my dumb. I couldn't just read the description, and it does point out you have one save slot.
No, it's fair. There were a few people that thought the same thing as well as you. There were people who thought it meant one save. So maybe it was the wording, but you're definitely not alone. Other people definitely thought the same.
I thought it was one save.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The besides those crashes, the void ones, I think the only other problem I had during my playthrough was during the later chapters, I would get big frame drops. I'd go from 40 frames or 60, basically 40 to 60 frames to down to in the 20s, or it got really bad. Mainly during chapter 10 was when I noticed as soon as I entered the it's in the cutscene with Temple and Mercer. That's what like started to tank a bit. So I had to like lower some settings and yeah, I'm pretty sure still to this day, like when I play Chapter 11 during the whole market escort out of the cargo bay, I still get some like frame issues here and there. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but like if the whole if a game is majority above 60 frames per second on average, above 30 frames on average, if a game can maintain 30 on average for like the majority of the game, I'm pretty much happy. Like I can live without 60, but I cannot live below 30.
That's that's fair.
Yeah. But that was when you were having the performance settings or lower than performance?
I was playing on medium, medium settings up until chapter 10 when I had to like fuck with the settings a bit more to I didn't like change the textures to low, but I had to change like a few of the other things playing on full screen things and yeah, just fuck around. It was a lot of trial and error with the settings to get the right performance that I wanted, but in the end it became more serviceable.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think there was going to be any new updates of the game. Like, they are literally kind of done with the game, just like the developers stated in the Dead Space speedrun community, Fiery.
It's very unfortunate to hear, but you know, we can't all be greedy. We got a really good remake, which I'm happy with. I'm satisfied. That's as much as I can say with like the news that they won't be doing any more post-launch content.
Unless there's going to be like, I don't know, some crashing bug that might affect the gameplay, then they will return to the game and make a patch. But right now, Motive is kind of focused on the Iron Man game.
Mm-hmm.
But also that they are kind of how you call it? They're on the some of them are on Easter holiday, so they're taking vacation time.
Yeah, very true. Congratulations on launch. Hashtag survival horror is back. That was Dead Space.
Oh dear.
And then the Dead Space remake releases, and the Callisto Protocol Twitter goes, only a couple days until you can get our Callisto Protocol Nikes.
That's so fucking disrespectful.
Yeah.
I know.
Good lord.
At least Glenn did to like congratulate the developers, but only Ligon did, like privately, instead of doing it publicly, which I'm glad that he did it.
I think a while to
Few days. It took him few days, but publicly they haven't made a statement. I don't know why.
They haven't on Twitter. I'm pretty sure it's just Glenn's account, Glenn Schofield's account on LinkedIn, of all places, where he congratulated them. But yeah, nothing on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, as like what Dead Space did to Callisto Protocol's release.
I don't know.
Bit salty.
Personally, I didn't like seeing that. To be fair.
Yeah, it was a little bit of
a bit
what's the word?
Disrespectful, honestly.
Yes, yeah, that's the word.
Oh, but yeah, like Dead Space remake. What do you think? Better than original in your opinion?
I would say yeah. If not for the performance issues that would come in the later chapters, I would say it was a really good experience. And yeah, for the most part, I would find myself playing it more than the original from now on. Of course, I'll revisit the original every so often, just to relish in the nostalgia of back when I played. But yeah, I'm really satisfied with the remake. I thought a lot of it was really well done, both combat and narrative. It was just awesome.
So, what things do you think might have been improved on the remake?
Besides voice acting, look with Kine and shit. Things that could have been improved on are more so nitpicks, and adding things that weren't in the original, such as like, you know, potential for extraction necromorphs or extraction weapons. So it's a little bit unfair to say that the game is bad because it doesn't have them. That's, yeah, far from the case. I think it would have been cool additions, and the game could have been better with them, but it's not hurting my review of the game for the game not having it. So I can't really think of anything at the moment worth changing. Besides, oh, actually, well, one thing. Difficulty. The difficulty with Impossible, for one, it's literally just the same as hard, only that you can only save in one slot, and if you die, that's a permanent reset. So I feel like if Impossible was also cranked up a bit, and in fact, hard should have been a bit more difficult, because I felt like hard should have been like Zealot from fucking Dead Space 2. I was expecting an enhanced slasher to take me from like full health to almost red, well, in the red, but instead an enhanced slasher like just took me down 2 pips of health.
Yeah, like
That was
like even the Speeder was like dealing more damage with its ranked attack than the enhanced. Because of the acid effect. Yeah,
Yes,
the Speeder
yeah.
deals more damage on you.
Yeah. No, just I didn't hear you right. Yeah, the Spitter does. The yeah. What about you guys? What about things that you'd say the original did better?
Baba?
Fuck. Do you know? It comes down to the little nitpick things like the exploder not having the stupid fucking scream or shit like things that are like so insignificant that it's like come on, if you're gonna be like docking the game points for that, there's definitely something wrong with you. But I don't know, it's just little tiny things like, you know, when the exploder hits you, it doesn't like knock you down. It's little tiny things. It's just like it's not big enough for it to hurt, like Brody said earlier. Like it's not like who really cares that when the exploder hits you, it doesn't like knock you fucking flying across the room. It just like does damage and stuns you. But other than that, then I wouldn't change a fucking thing about it. I probably, again, like you said, I won't be going back to the original unless it's just for a little nostalgia trip. But I think it's a fucking great remake. I think it's one of the best remakes that we have gotten in a long time, and I'm just happy that it came out. I'm happy that it's good. It's a massive fucking relief, and it is going to be even more massive relief because it could lead to more fucking DS games. Maybe not a DS4, but at least a DS2 remake, maybe a DS3 remake with the surveys that EA have been putting out recently. I think the series is in a really comfy position after being dormant for almost 10 fucking years, and it's kind of bizarre to be living this right now. I can't even lie to you.
The community is just so happy and over the moon that like we're finally back from the grave, and who knows, maybe not even remakes, but like or like even Dead Space 4, but a spin-off game, or like, you know, how they did Extraction, or like, you know, covering new characters in a new setting, seeing something, you know, fresh to revitalize improve upon the already really good universe of Dead Space.
So like they did with
Ignition
mobile.
2! Let's go!
Let's
Oh my god.
This game. Wait, I want the Ignition world record.
Ignition speedrun.
Oh my god.
Pretty hard, to be honest.
I mean, Sharka did attempted it, right?
I routed it out a little bit, and then I think he played it, but that was about it. But if you look, the leaderboards for it are like correct.
Yeah, the problem
like
is that the
Jesus.
leaderboard for the Ignition is kind of, well, apart from being dense, but not many people do have like those runs on PS3. Mostly we use an emulator,
Oh yeah.
either the RP CS3 or the Dolphin. No, Dolphin? No, it was only a PlayStation 3 game.
It was on Xbox 360.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, it's actually backwards compatible on Xbox One.
Yeah.
That's how I played it and wrote it out.
Lucky.
Come back to bed, baby. Can't, babe. I'm playing Dead Space Ignition.
That's the dream.
So, what are your thoughts about the Dead Space remake, and what things could have been done better on the remake compared to the original Fiery? Especially speaking as one on the speedrun perspective.
I think okay. So one thing that I did not like was, I mean, it's like a lot of small things.
Nitpicking.
Like chapter 3 batteries, right? And Dead Space 1, you could launch them. Like, you could stasis them, then launch them into the thing, and it was, like, way fucking easier and way nicer. Whereas, like, Remake, you have to, like, 0G levitate while dragging it with you to the end. And then you're getting, like, you have lurkers just flying at you, just, like, knocking you around and shit. Like, that was really annoying. And I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to launch it when you can launch everything else with Kinesis, you know?
That's kind of weird. Also, the fact that during the cutscenes or audio logs, you are not able to access bench or the store.
Oh yeah. No, that's probably the biggest thing is the cutscenes locked you out of being able to do literally like anything. That was probably like my biggest complaint, whereas like that wasn't a thing in OG at all. You could literally like it even locked doors, so you could even like progress sometimes.
Kind of weird that the engine itself cannot do that thing.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly why, but I mean they already mentioned it that it wasn't.
And it was weird too because there's like glitches that would like make it work.
And it
like that's the only way we were able to like make like that shit like bearable was by like finding glitches that would cancel it out, so it actually worked. So I don't know. A lot of it was weird that was a thing.
As for the weapon strategy, like in the past,
I fucking love the new contact beam.
I didn't even talk about that.
You can literally
Dude, I
skip chapter
love
6.
the new contact beam.
Chapter 6, chapter 10 as well. There was like, I don't know, weak spots, and also chapter 12. I can skip the last part to the pedestrian area. Like you just destroy one particular weak spot, and then you can activate the gondola to lead the marker to the pedestrian. And with chapter 6, you can skip entirely the drag tentacle.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of nice.
I hated that you could. So I actually talked to Quinn about this. This actually annoyed me a lot. I literally asked Quinn if I was like, Quinn, why can't I kill the chapter 3 tentacle before it actually grabs me like I could in original Dead Space 1? Like, why can't I kill the tentacles before they actually grab me? Like the drag tentacles?
Yeah.
Because you could kill them before they actually touched you at all in original.
Yeah.
But you can't in Remake at all. And I asked him about it, and he's like, well, because I showed them that you could do that, so we made it so you couldn't. And I was like, why? I was like, why would you do this to me?
How dare they remove the glitch that would get me a few seconds in?
I mean, it wasn't even a glitch. You just used Langdon mines.
Yeah, the things that they converted
Fucking exploit.
Yeah, they converted into a cutscene, basically. With all the drag tentacles.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, they made it into a command grab cutscene. I was just like, bro, come on. What the fuck?
Yeah,
like, why are you cutting out depth of the game?
I would say that's probably another thing the original done better.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird as well that on the high point battle, you cannot like destroy more hearts with the alt fire of the contact beam. But if you use a pulse rifle alt fire, then it does damage all the hearts.
Wait, what was that?
The pulse rifle alt fire can damage all the hearts on the high point.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's kind of like how the line gun mine could damage all the hearts.
Yeah, the line gun on the original was pretty good to finish high mines.
I can't imagine if the line gun laser tripwire in the remake had like infinite range, because I realized there is actually like a range to it before it activates. But imagine if it had like infinite range, so you could like put the you could place the line mines so they are aiming over to where the hive mind's hearts would like be exposed when its rib cage opens.
I don't know who was the person that decided to make the All-Fire line gun to stick to almost everything, but whoever that
They're
person
fucking
was,
genius.
I hope he received a fucking raise. He fucking deserves it.
So good. I found that out. Like, I can't imagine everyone.
Praise
I
gaming.
can imagine a lot of people saying the same thing, but they found it on accident. Yeah, by like shooting a mine at the feet of a necromorph, but it actually hooked onto the actual foot of it.
Also, don't stick the mines on a necromorph. You might get yourself into a fucking nightmare. Especially if you're playing on impossible difficulty.
Weaponized necromorphs.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Trey would actually. He's like a big speedrunner. He was like pretty much the only person running Impossible. He got a strat where he threw the line gun trip, whatever the fuck they're called, the tripwires, on boxes, especially in Chapter 11. Before we developed better strats for like the Chapter 11 like moving marker room, he originally threw those tripwires on a box and kinesis them and kinesis the box so then he could aim it anywhere and it just beam cannon every necromorph that he looked at.
Exactly. That is the best way to deal with the necromorphs, especially on New Game Plus. Like, those two weapons makes the whole experience fun. They also made made the weapons more fun compared to the original. Like, they added that fun element, which is really like it's very good if you want like to do multiple playthroughs. Apart from everything might having different scenarios thanks to the intensity director, you can also have like a lot of fun, like the hunter or the like everything. Just the line gun and contact beam and pulse rifle if you are. Oh no, pulse rifle no. The plasma cutter, like with the upgrade that you can slap everything that staggers them.
Yeah, I feel like good replayability there.
Yeah.
There is one thing I'm not completely sure on it because I don't remember, but I feel like it was a thing. Do you remember if DS1 if you grabbed logs if they appeared in New Game Plus still, even if you already had it? Like they didn't, right?
Not sure.
That was something I was annoyed about in Remake was like literally every log that you grabbed in New Game, if you go into New Game Plus, they're all still there again for you to grab.
Yeah, but
And it's just like, bro, like how do I know which one I didn't grab?
But that's the thing that's happened to the whole trilogy, even to Extraction. Like we always there are those logs.
I think the exception is Dead Space 3 as well, because if you take like logs and artifacts, they're replaced with resources.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
True. That's true.
But yeah, I think the story overall was done much better. I think all the side stuff was really cool. I was really happy about that, especially like with how in depth they went on Isaac's family, his relationship with Nicole, and just making Isaac like much more of a character that like also relates to the character he is in like Dead Space 2 and 3 especially.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the alternative ending.
Yeah.
That might be literally canon ending because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
If you jump into Dead Space 2. Like you can consider both endings like canon. Because in the end when they found the shuttle, they found Isaac like in literally coma or whatever state he was, and with the whole interior of the shuttle covered in marks, in Unitology's marks. In the alternative ending, we see that. So it might be like, I don't know, could be that the alternative ending might be after the original ending, after he gets attacked by Nicole and gets crazy and starts drawing everything. So it could be a possibility.
Yeah, the dialogue changes once you've gotten all the marker shards and put them all down in the captain's quarters. With different dialogue all the changed dialogue during chapter 12 was also fun to see.
Yeah, exactly. As well, if you didn't complete the side quest, you'll get different responses from the character from Nicole.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do Nicole's side quest, and at chapter 12 when Kendra tells you, like, you knew that she was dead this whole time, didn't you?
Actually, didn't know that one.
Yeah. You get that one if you don't do the side quest.
Cool.
Yep.
Because Isaac would be like he saw the whole video, but he thought that, oh no, maybe because of the stress she had, like he wasn't sure. So he did saw the whole video, but he kind of couldn't accept that she was dead. So probably that's why he volunteered, especially after how they had the last conversation that they ended up like getting angry on each other, blaming Nicole for the death of his parents.
Fuck mess. Game sad.
Even past the original game and into the Dead Space remake, we still don't know how the fuck Nicole sent that message out to Isaac in the first place. If the comms were taken down.
I mean, the market might have allowed it, just to, I don't know, activate the communications array just for a brief moment so that Nicole could send the message. Just like it allowed Alyssa Vincent to record and show her path to launch the beacon, in which the message was altered. It wasn't this whole video that we saw at the end of the movie. Just essential details.
Using the marker as an excuse for everything.
I mean, it's
The
kind of
marker
the
is
same.
a perfect plot device. It absolutely is.
In serious ways.
Yeah, I mean, a way to send you a beam.
It could literally do anything. I mean, you could write fucking literally anything and get away with it.
But yeah,
Oh dear.
other than that, characters, other than like kind, they were different, more humanized. The relation that the characters had between them was also like in a way realistic, still cheesy on some moments. And with the side quests, with a part of side quests, the side characters also have more impact into the story. And also, I don't know if you guys realized about Jacob Temple, but there is a crucial detail about him that most of the haters didn't point it out.
What, he's bi?
He's bisexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were confused about that. When he first said, like in one of the gameplay things, like Temple says Liz's friends, and then he says old boyfriends, and people were confused by the saying, wait, so
But
Liz's exes or Jacob's exes, and yeah, people were confused, but now it's like actually confirmed.
Yeah,
And, yeah.
on the audio log on chapter 11, when you destroy the, I call it, the growth that was blocking the rail line. What's that called? Yeah, the rail. And after you deal with the Guardian, you'll find the audio log of Jacob while he was still taken hostage by Mercer. And also at that audio log, we found out that Mercer got, disabled extracted all the upgrades of the Force Gun, so that's why his attack wasn't that effective against him on chapter 10. And he did point it out later on that he didn't want it, that he didn't want the same fate for Elizabeth to get to meet Mercer, and as well mentions his ex David, I think it was his name, I don't know. But yeah.
That's a cool little detail.
But still, he was badass. Like, he died trying to do the right thing.
Yep, and he did it all without wearing a fucking suit too.
Exactly.
Never know, you could walk through a door and you enter a vacuum. So it's very ballsy to not have a suit going through there.
Yeah, and also he had the cheap ass Force Gun edition.
A cheap Force Gun.
Dollar store Force Gun.
More like
Don't talk to me with the dollar store Force Gun.
Yeah.
Force Gun sound effect. Man, I'm so glad the remake was done well because after my experience, I'm trying to put it lightly, with the Callisto Protocol, we really needed the W from the remake. The Callisto Protocol was something else. There's definitely things I like, but there's also a lot of things that I either don't like or things that I think that could have been improved. Just make it a better experience.
I think it's better to start with good things, right? About Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, do a compliment sandwich. Something good, then something needs improvement, and then something good again.
But once it starts first.
Baba Bread, you got something good?
Who gets to praise Callisto first? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Me.
dude, I ain't gonna lie. Oh, you wanna go ahead?
I mean, you go.
I'm fine with that. If you wanna praise Callisto first, go right ahead.
Grip is fun as hell.
Grip. Grip.
The
Oh,
It's
grip.
amazing.
Yeah, yep.
Kinesis.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good crack. Tossing motherfuckers off cliffs. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't be bothered to fucking smack you and deal with you mutating, so I'm just gonna throw you into over a cliff or onto weird geometry you can't comprehend, and then you die. I love gripping a biophage, putting them on on like a patient's bed, and they just drop dead.
Oh yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. I did in like the last
In
tower.
the last in tower, it happens a lot with a lot of the beds.
Fuck.
They just go sleeping. They go, I'm in mute mode.
He's so eepy.
Keep the biophage.
Like that.
Toss him into a
Alright.
fan.
Something that needs improvement.
We aren't done yet.
Where to
with
get
the
started?
things. We aren't done
Oh,
yet.
oh wait. You want to talk about all the good first, Helios?
Yes.
Oh right, okay.
Like-
All right. Well, I guess I'll say something good.
So,
I
regarding
I guess if I really have to.
regarding graphics,
I was.
like even on lower settings, the game still looks good. And it
Yes.
doesn't crash that often the game, or getting soft locked, like playing normally. Like during speedruns, Fire, did you got soft locked at any point of the game?
Yep.
Wait, what?
No, during speedrunning the Callisto Protocol, did you got soft locked on?
Nope. Because it's not Dead Space Remake.
You get stuck in her for 2 weeks.
Ow.
But yeah, like the grip was amazing. The bad thing is that the recharge upgrade wasn't that useful. Like I didn't notice like it was charging the energy.
Yeah, I still don't know what the fuck was going on with that.
Yeah, the stun baton, I did have fun with it. Especially you could chase the combat, like when you do like 2 swings, you aim, and then you swing again, not giving the enemy no chance to retaliate. Just like
Yeah.
constantly pitting it up like a good card. And also the intro was very good. And
Yeah, it was
Nirvana-
first time around. It is
7
fun.
out of 10 on your first playthrough, didn't you, Helios?
yeah, I did give it a 7 out of 10, and then I did a bare bones challenge in which Fire did it first. I have to admit that. But yeah, when we go to the bad things, I'll point out what I experienced during the bare bones run. But yeah, like graphically, it looked amazing even on lower settings, and no soft lock. The weapons were. What weapons was the most fun of it? Of all of them, the skunk.
The skunk gun.
Skunk gun, my beloved.
The skunk
Yeah,
gun
skunk
was
is amazing.
amazing.
My positives, I guess, would be the atmosphere, the sound effects, and the soundtrack. The atmosphere just works. Like it's a really well made atmosphere for a horror game. From the the chilling winds to the Korean laundry rooms of Black Iron Prison, and like the howling cliffs. It's just it's really well made. So I'm glad the atmosphere like held up really well.
The Tolerance is 2.0.
Yeah, yeah, 2.0.
Yeah.
The I feel like the game with its horror elements, like the whole the horror in survival horror, I didn't really get. Well, I didn't really. I only got scared like 3 times in total. Playing the Callisto Protocol for the first time. I was scared more times in the first 3 chapters of the Dead Space remake than I was in the entirety of playing the Callisto Protocol. Now that's in terms of scares. That's in terms of being jump scared. I feel the Callisto Protocol did terror better. So the difference for people who don't know, horror is the scare and terror is the anticipation of the scare happening, the build up to it. I feel like the terror was done way better because there were several moments of misdirection, which, funny enough, they happened like much earlier in the game than like later, like after chapter below. So anything before below, there were like really good terror moments of like tricking the player into thinking there would be an enemy spawn or something bad was going to happen.
They're in the trees.
One of the that was both a great terror and horror moment for me. Like that both got me on edge before the scare happened, and that also scared me when the fucking corruptor jumped out of the tree and jumped me. One of the first and best moments of the terror was at the start of the game in chapter Outbreak. You're going through the isolation area. It's got this droning soundtrack, which I'll get into later about the soundtrack. But you're like making your way to the elevator with this soundtrack going on. You turn it on, the elevator, you call it down, and you hear like thumping in the vents. You feel like something's going to jump out and attack you. But the elevator arrives and you're all good. you expect to have a fight before the elevator like makes it to your level, but there is no fight. It was a really good trickery against the player. And I guess the other moment would be like when you're crawling through that like bloody gunk biophage pimple mess in the habitat chapter. There's like underwater bubbles and like movement, and you're not sure like if there's something ever going to jump out at you, and nothing ever does.
Yeah, in that same vein, it's like about 1 minute after that happens when you're like hitting the valve, and it's like, oh, I've used the valves before. Then one of those tiny motherfuckers jumps out at you when you're trying to use the valve. It was another good moment. I like that one.
And then they proceed to, ruin it with a fucking bloodworm at the top of a ladder. Back to the when I complimented the soundtrack, the droning soundtrack they had in that one moment, I can't not talk about Mark Corvin. Mark Corvin. So Mark Corvin is the where do I?
Composer.
I know there's 2 people. No. So right. Tony Duggan Smith, he made an instrument a few years ago, which they called the Apprehension Engine. It's like this, if you Google it, it's like this big wooden box with these weird like gadgets and like parts on it, which you use to like make the most terrifying sounds ever. With like, it's even got like a little reverb spiral on it. Basically, Tony Duggan Smith made this instrument, and it was most famously used in The Witch and The Lighthouse movies. I believe they're both A24 movies, I think.
Lighthouse is. I never saw Witch.
Okay, right. Yeah, and just so happens, Mark Corvin was the composer of both The Witch and The Lighthouse. And so when I realized in the they were doing those videos before the Callisto Protocol released about how they affected gameplay and atmosphere, they teased. Well, actually, no, they didn't tease. They showed off that the people working on the soundtrack were using the Apprehension Engine, and I was so stoked because if you look up clips of like Mark Corvin using playing the Apprehension Engine, like he's doing improv too, because the way you play it, you could there's so much freedom with what you can do to make these like terrifying sounds with it. When you like YouTube him just like fucking with the Apprehension Engine, it's so cool and creepy. The fact that they use the Apprehension Engine in the soundtrack is just awesome. I've been spurging so much about this like one instrument, but I really love it. It was a really cool thing that I was glad was featured in the soundtrack because like I said, the instrument was only like a relatively new creation, so I can't wait to see it in like more media.
That's cool, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah, me either. That's really nice.
I'll definitely have to link a video of the instrument in work later, so you guys can check it out.
And also
but yeah, those are definitely my positives. What about you, Fiery?
Um, kind of hard to
Processing.
think with that. It's hard to think with that. Like, I mean, besides the grip being fun, it's kind of hard to think of positives without thinking the immediate negatives of the things that I like. So I'm trying to find something that. I really like the biomes, the different biomes. Like, I like the level design for the most part.
Okay.
Not necessarily in the not I don't I like the level design till like probably no, yeah, no. I mean, I think I just like the level design overall. I think it's all done like fairly well. I like how there's variety in the biomes and each level. You know, like you got like the underground, then you got the prison, then you got like the Dead Space 3 snow shit.
Overland is my
Um,
beloved.
yeah, and then you there's like there's a lot to go around, which I enjoyed in that aspect. I enjoyed a few things in the story. I enjoyed that. Like, I know a lot of people actually like hated that the ending ended how it did, like with
Yeah.
Basically, Dead Space.
what's his face?
Ferris.
Ferret. Wait, was that the main guy? Is that this the
Villain.
Yeah,
The
that's the villain.
the buff villain at the end.
Yeah,
yeah. Not necessarily relating to Ferris. Actually, I really liked Ferris as a character
but he was
until like
kind
probably
of
the end.
Until
kinda
that's the
underused.
key word.
He was also very underutilized. Like he could have had so much more
I
so
agree.
many more scenes and yeah, more of an impact on Jacob. What about you,
Yep.
Helios?
The positives. Well, apart from the grip, as
I
well
wasn't
as-
even done yet.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, you're still going? I thought it was just the grip in that. All right, you go.
No, I was trying to get to. I like that the. I liked a lot of the side sections. Like I
Side
like how
sections?
you like. Yeah, like there's like little underground sections where you kind of learn a little bit more about like
Yeah.
the cult
Ah.
and like the secret society or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
That was kind of going on there, and I liked that the leader of it was like actually smart because you know he's like how he's at the end he's kind of like taunting you, but also like being like, "Hey, join me and shit." I like that he wasn't actually there. Some people kind of disagree with that, I think, because they wanted him to die and just that shit be over. But I like that he was actually smart and not in killing range. And he was like manipulating everything from afar and was just like, yeah, fuck that. Like, I ain't fucking on a prison with fucking mutated fucking people to die. Like, are you kidding me? I'm a supervillain.
It makes sense why he wasn't there in the end.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think it
like-
was like a holograph. Like a
Sorry,
hologram.
yeah.
Instead of just being there personally.
Yeah.
And
It was
and
a
I-
realistic hologram.
yeah, and I like how it kind of like it gave you like a little glimpse into like the universe and the world, as well as showing oh, I forgot her name. Her
Danny?
experiences. Danny, yeah. Showing
Yeah,
her
Danny.
experiences on whatever planet they were on. How it kind of like showed like the impact of it like elsewhere, not just in this small little like fucking prison. But it's like an actual like big like terrorist attack. You know, kind of like how Dead Space like they kind of started showing that in like Dead Space 2.
When you know, it's
Where you start fighting the necromorphs, you know, like in actual like public spaces and stuff. And you see it like affecting, you know, a lot more than just, you know, one single ship. I kind of like that they showed it like impact more of the universe and not just be like some small little incident.
To the UJC, it certainly was a small incident. They try to, cover it up, blame it on a terrorist.
Yeah, they
I mean,
were,
yeah. Like I like that it was
incident.
like a big deal and has like impacts on like basically everybody in the universe. And I like some of the little PTSD / like schizophrenic sections with his best friend. Like how you could just be walking through, like in the beginning of the game, like he's just whispering your name and you can't even
Oh
see him.
yeah.
It was like only at the start. That only happened once, and that was like the only good moment I ever had, like ever enjoyed with fucking Max, the hallucination man, that screams in your face like 3 times.
Yeah,
God,
I think that definitely needed to be utilized better, but there was a few
I
good
can't
moments.
wait into the bad.
He's screaming. He can't wait.
Yeah.
What about you, Helios?
Apart from like, oh my god, what the fuck happened there? I saw that combat that Isabel lady did on you with a knife. Fiery.
Hey, what?
No, that I was like when I was going to point out the good stuff, I just saw that Isabel enemy, the lady, that knifed you like 3-4 times in a row.
Oh yeah.
Holy moly!
It's rough out here.
But yeah, so apart from the grip being like a kind of fun weapon, although it has some issues, the stun button. What else? Apart from the graphics, the audio quality, like the weapons, I'm trying hard. It's
He's
kind
trying his hardest, man. He can't wait to
Alright.
shit on this game.
I think it's time maybe we move into how
Not
the game
yet.
could have been. Not to say dislikes, but things that could have been improved.
yeah, I'm still not done. I did enjoy Sam Wither's performance. Like
There
it's a,
is always
a prize
prize.
to pay. I
So
expected,
fucking stupid.
I did expect a Star Killer or Darth Ball impressive, like Jacob.
You wanted him to fucking like break his vocal cords like the typical Sam Witwer scream. Like
Yeah,
It's
that'd
what
have
we
been nice
needed
to
more
see.
of him. We needed more of him, and we didn't get it.
yeah. But the moment that he was present, he stole the show, literally. As well,
he did.
what was the voice actor for Josh?
What?
Also did like a good job voicing the protagonist. Yeah.
Yeah.
He done great. Everyone done great, to be honest. As much as I can rag on, there was always like, oh, I want that. Like everyone done great.
Yeah, especially Elias. Like, oh,
Oh, Elias, my beloved. Best
My-
guy in the game.
What's going on?
Bro,
Yeah,
get a knife him, bro. Get a knife him.
I also enjoyed the moments that Elias and Jacob were like having their interactions. Like,
Yeah,
alright,
man.
bro, here's the plan.
I fucking wish there was more of it.
I'm going this way, you're going that way. I'm going to help you throughout this journey, bruv. But stick with me, bruv. I'm going to help you.
Brody, that's Callisto's motto is I wish, but that is
Yeah.
that is the Callisto protocol.
And I
The
did
one
feel-
word.
And I did feel
I-
bad when Elias died. Like, it was one of those moments that really
Yeah.
touched.
you're
It was a
right.
bit more emotional. Yeah.
Exactly.
It could have been a bit more impactful though if we'd gotten more time with Elias. Like, had Elias and Jacob they had that 1-to-1 about why Elias is in prison for. If they had that scene in the cutscene where Jacob first gets the hand cannon and they're talking about the game plan of getting into the shoe, had they had that moment there where like Jacob asks why Elias is in prison for, it would have meant we get the reveal earlier. So why not use the game's quote downtime unquote of crawling through vents and shimmying to have like Jacob and Elias talk over radio and get to know each other a bit more,
Yeah. Well, maybe from the
or have a
core.
cutscene before you take that gondola up to the shoe. You like walk through the door and you see Elias like on the console. That could have been a good cutscene. The moment to have a bit more dialogue between the two, but not just rushing straight to the gondola.
Maybe as well, like getting access to his memories from the core that Dan extracted. That could have been
Oh, true. Yeah.
a nice detail as well.
Yeah, because you're swapping memories and shit. That would have been cool. Fuck,
Yeah,
I
like-
didn't even think of that one.
Yeah, like we've
But,
seen
yeah.
Danny interacted with one of the corpses from the from the old colony. And
And that's just
reliving
like
the
a,
memories, and literally, like, Danny looked like a possessed person.
Sir, it's the other way.
That's
But other than that,
I feel like
yeah,
the one word that I hear people say when they talk about the Callisto Protocol, whether like in reviews and shit or otherwise, is potential. Like the potential for gameplay to have been different, the potential for more lore expansion or story, the potential for the death animations to not be like released as DLC after launch. There's a lot of avenues the game could have gone that it didn't. Whether that was like creative choices or some other hidden shit we don't know. It's a shame.
In a way, it's kind of weird that they haven't like linked to the Helix episodes with the main story. Like that
Right?
that
Yeah.
series was very good. Like they
Pretty sure
explained
they like
lots
only
of
name
lore.
drop
Yeah, and as well the
Ferris.
events in
Like Ferris is only name dropped once in the Helix podcast, I think.
maybe right now I don't recall. Like it's been like I've seen that podcast in January before the release of
yep.
this remake.
Fair enough.
But yeah, they did a fantastic job, and as well that the the actors that participated, some of them are big news, well, big names, like the
Yeah.
Gwendolyn, I think was named, that played on both Game of Thrones and as well on the Wednesday show as a principal.
Yes, yeah. Actually, that's another positive I forgot to mention. So while the game may not have scared as many people, because horror is subjective. Like it's just as subjective as comedy. Like for me, the Callisto Protocol was like the Amy Schumer of horror. It just wasn't. It just didn't get me all that well.
I mean, calling it
But
that
I can commend the
way-
games. I can commend the game's gross factor. The amount of times I was like, ugh, fucking like I was like squinting like during a death scene. I was very grossed out. I can say that.
I mean, honestly, calling it Amy Schumer, I would just say Will Smith slap.
Amy Schumer horror.
At least,
If I was to
Fuck.
compare horror to comedy, yes, Amy Schumer is definitely the Callisto Protocol. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
worse
not
than
not
death.
that funny, not that scary.
Damn it.
Not that funny.
But yeah,
Not funny at all. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can't go over that.
did you point it out, Papa? The positives?
Bappo?
You Pablo?
No, Papa.
Why are you calling Bappo?
I said Papa.
Oh,
No, you said Bappo.
God damn it, Papa.
I said it before. I like the cast is really fucking strong. The facial animation is like that's borderline human. Like
Yeah.
sure, there's some goofy faces that come out of it sometimes, especially when you're like looking at Jacob's face in scenes where you're not supposed to see his face, like the water slide. And he's just
The water
monotone
slide,
as
yeah.
fuck.
With that,
No, but
I need to
the
see that
facial
image.
animation is good.
with a $2 ES cut hair. Haircut.
Yep.
Yeah, his haircut. I
I
gotta find that
I-
image in the water slide. That was fucking hilarious.
Still, it's
like
a
the
fucking
graphics.
crime that they haven't added like his outfit from the beginning as an option.
Oh yeah, the fucking barrel trauma captain suit. Borderline what that is.
And with hair, especially with hair.
Oh yeah, with the hair. Forgot about that.
I remember that time I got a glitch, or just a bug, in the last chapter of the game when you're in Jacob like realizes the truth that he was transporting the biophage thing to Europa. In the scene was like Max is like, Jacob, what have you got there? And Jacob's holding up the tube like, what we got is none of our business. In the scene, he's both got his original haircut and he's also he's wearing his UJC armor, but he's also got his leather jacket on. Like the outfits overlaid over each other, and it actually kind of looks cool. I'm gonna like send it in the podcast
DLC.
business so you can see it.
Oh, nice. That'll be nice.
Like
to
it
see.
would have been. God, the game could have had a lot of like replay value had they added
Oh
like
my
reward
God.
incentives to the game. Like imagine completing the game for the first time and you unlock Jacob's original outfit that he wore at the start in the prologue, as well as the haircut. And you can play through the entire game with that look. That would have been really cool.
Imagine if they had anything for replay value.
right? Like
Yeah.
random enemy spawns or like different enemies spawning on different difficulties. Or
Shall we start with that one?
fucking. Should we start with what one? The
With the difficulties. Like, right. Oh, okay.
what?
I mean, maximum security is a fucking joke. Like, it's not hard.
Yeah, definitely not hard once you get the hang of how the combat loop goes.
Alright, who should start with the bad stuff?
I believe
Brody
we
is-
already started.
Brody is screaming just to fucking
I'm
shit on the
enough
screen.
for me.
No, man, dude. When you
Hey.
brought up the soundtrack earlier, I was like, no, don't say it.
Hey,
Don't.
Oh,
you
yeah.
fucking dare.
may I start?
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't mention it.
may-
I will.
May I start with
Sorry?
the difficulty?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Give me a second, like, I need to process this because it's going to be very interesting, so bear with me. Okay, so you play the game, you finish the game. If it's the easy, medium, maximum, hardcore, contagion, you don't get a fucking reward.
Yeah,
You don't get nothing.
there's no reason to beat the game and a new game plus it unless you just want an achievement on Steam or PlayStation or Xbox.
Content, man.
Like, dude, I want my good suit, my extra suit, my extra weapon, everything that would make me like make me motivated to play your game. But please, no fucking rewards on fucking finishing the hardest difficulty or on the two mods that you just released that are literally like the main story with no differences. The only difference is on hardcore, what it does, like, the enemies attack harder, you receive less resources.
Yep.
The stun button does less damage, and the contagious mode is basically the same, but if you die, you just go back to the beginning of the chapter. And also, you need to complete the chapter if you want to progress. If, for example, if you need to go somewhere and you want to save, you cannot save. Like, you have to redo the whole chapter. And also, I don't know if you play the Fiery, the Contagion mode, but the grip strategy, the checkpoint restart, it's invalid. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
It doesn't
can't
work.
No. Fuck.
Like, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because you have to yeah. That's funny. That's even like a bug to begin with. You just reload a checkpoint in a normal game and just recharges your grip.
That's
I had to do that because I ran out of grip juice to like open one of those vents that you have to crawl through.
It's kind of frustrating because if you have to leave, you just need to redo the chapter whole. Like, if you're like literally at the end and you have to leave, when you return, you need to do it again. At least they could have just added like, alright, you're going to have an auto save, or just manually save. No, auto save. But if you die, you lose that auto save, and you go back to the beginning of the chapter. That could have been a thing.
Hopefully, if it's not a controversial opinion, but making a game like punish the player by like restarting the entire game or the entire chapter is not a way to make a game harder. It just makes it more frustrating. If you want to make a game harder, have the biophage like introduce them, like make them have new attacks or like different. It doesn't even work for the Callisto Protocol because of its fucking dodging mechanic. It's so stupid. It's so stupid in that it's so basic. When I went into the game, I got the impression you had to dodge at just the right moment and in the right direction to successfully dodge an attack. I was overthinking it. But turns out
You didn't read the tutorial.
But
yeah, you can dodge at any time, but like fucking that's what I meant. Like I went into the game thinking that was how it would work, but then I got the tutorial saying that, and I was and I was just disappointed because I was expecting something like, parrying enemies in like fucking Resident Evil 4 Remake or Metal Gear Rising. If you parry an enemy, you both block their attack and you do a counter attack on them, which does a fuck ton of damage. So I thought dodging would be like that. We have to dodge at the right time to actually be successful, but also dodging in the right direction. So if an enemy goes to, let's say they swing with their right arm, so they're going to hit your right, you dodge to the left instead. I thought it'd be something like that, but no, it's so borderline simple that you can play the game. I've seen a stream of a guy play it with his eyes closed, like fighting a biophage with his eyes closed, and he just dodge, smack, dodge, smack, in that order, like twice, and then he won. It's so simple, you can play it with your fucking eyes closed.
Yeah, it would have been so fucking satisfying if you could like parry and it does like a really fucking clean animation and a very satisfying sound effect. Like that could have rectified so much problems with the melee combat, because the main problem is that it's, boring as fuck. But if it was like really fucking satisfying to do it, really clean, precise timing on higher difficulties, it would have been so much fun.
In a way,
like
it
that cool leg breaker
kinda...
move that you have when you block an enemy's attack bread. Like, you know the like the, what's not leg breaker or something like that, like leg sweeper. You know that one. Yeah, like that was a cool, like that's something I envision when you just said you do a cool counter move. Like it'd be cool if you did do a good timed dodge, and maybe you dodge while you swing. So you dodge to the left, but you keep your bat low, and you crack their fucking knee. That would have been something cool.
Yeah.
But like adding counters would have been cool, and changing blocking in general would have been good, because there is no
useless.
Yes, yeah. There's no reason to dodge. Sorry. Fuck, the Callisto Protocol's rotting my brain. There's no reason to block if you take damage from doing it, when you can just dodge and not receive any damage at all.
Yeah, the blocking isn't that was useful, honestly. And regarding dodging, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there are some moments that you didn't notice, like some slow motion moments when you were like dodging.
Yeah,
I did
it's
notice.
the perfect dodge.
Yeah, that's the
and I
perfect
did
dodge.
realize how to do it.
And you can counterattack. Even if you don't have the upgrade, you can do it normally.
Yeah. The and it's not even it's very specific, because the game, unlike the dodge tutorial, it doesn't tell you how to perfect dodge in the tutorial.
And also with
you
the
have
buttons, you can activate an option from the accessibility mode that you can just link it to one button. Like instead of just pressing A to dodge to the left, or to you just can keep the button, just one button, that's it, and you dodge left and right.
There's a very specific window when it comes to dodging an enemy's attack and to hit that perfect dodge, and you can't hold. So if you're playing on keyboard, for example, if you hold down either key to dodge, it won't work. You have to tap the key. You can't hold it down. You have to tap the key at the right moment to hit the perfect dodge in that window that you get.
I think you can hold it. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think you can do it right to fiery. Like, hold the button.
Wait, what?
No, if you're...
dodging.
Stop playing!
With dodging, that you don't need like to tap, you can just hold the button.
Oh yeah, if you turn auto dodge on.
Alright, so yeah, I did not have auto dodge on. That's probably the difference, Helios. I was playing with auto dodge off, and I had to tap at the right time to get the perfect dodge. But it's
I mean, the perfect dodge doesn't even matter. Doesn't do anything.
In fact, it makes biophage mutate faster, because like when you hit that counter attack on them after doing a perfect dodge, they'll instantly sprout those fucking tentacles, which is a pretty good segue into like the mutation gameplay.
Talking about mutations.
It's what?
Like talking about mutations, like before encountering that enemy that starts mutating, all the biophage that encounter, they were fun. After that, all of them, except the corruption.
Yeah, it's not even random.
Except the working one.
It's like all of the it's all big mouths, blind, and brutes. It's all those forms. They'll mutate, like no matter what. And they'll only ever mutate when you stun baton them. Like I have yet to find a moment where I shoot a biophage in the belly and its fucking tentacles sprout.
If you want to avoid them to transform, just go for the head, for the leg, like destroying one of his leg and then
they-
use the baton
they-
to finish them off.
They do it if you throw them against walls. With
Oh yeah,
grips.
that's true. Yeah.
That's like a nice speed strat.
The tentacles be like, gunshot, I sleep. I hit a wall or I get smacked with a baton. Real shit.
Yep.
The like I was hoping there'd be more mutations than just the one. Like it's cool design, but I would have expected there to be a few more like different variations, mutations. Like, yeah, you've got that one that we know in the game, which has one bladed arm and like the fucked up looking head. But I imagined it kind of like the Magini, Ganado, and Juavo from like the Resident Evil series, where there's like tons more mutations. Like in Resident Evil 5, you've got the ones that fly that come out of like a Magini's back, and then you've got ones which is like a big Venus flytrap like mouth. I expected there to be like cool different types of mutations for like the biophages. Like maybe if you shot off a brute's head, it changes to a different head which can like shoot, I don't know, fucking quills out of its mouth like a flechette, and it'll like deal massive damage like Jacob up close. Or maybe you shoot its arm off and it'll sprout like a mutated arm that's like a big comically massive bio shield to like protect itself. And so you have to go for the legs instead or something. Like it would have been cool to see some variation in the mutations. And yeah, what Helios said about like how how every enemy mutates, have it random, so like you know, it makes it a bit more of a fresh experience. Fucking hell.
But
It's
blood is
making me so
boiling.
angry.
I'm so angry.
no, but it's understandable. To be fair. But it can't be cheesed. Like it's once you understand. Well, once you find out. Like I did find out on my own when I was doing glitchless speedrun. Like I realized, okay, so they are starting to mutate. If you could go for the leg, or when you deal damage on them, just go for the leg and then use the baton to finish them off instantly. Like it's instant. You just do it and that's it. All it requires is just destroying one leg and then you can kill it. And it works for everything. The blind ones, the normal ones, the big mouths.
There definitely wasn't all that much enemy variation. For a game with like 8 horrible monstrosities, there's only like 2 ways that they'll attack you. 1, they either close the distance and swing at you, or 2, they put you in a fucking quick time event. And the quick time events are usually just like a cheap fucking jump scare. All those annoying fucking parasites. I've counted the amount of times that the spawns of all the parasites in like chests, like lockers and shit. Let me get this fucking list. All right.
Oh, you got a
There's
fucking list.
so there's one parasite that hides on a corpse that if you stomp the corpse, it'll jump at you in the chapter Outbreak, and then there's one chest parasite in Outbreak. There's 2 parasites that jump scare you in Aftermath. There's one in a medical ward locker, and there's one in the laundry machine, the drying machine. There's only one in Habitat, and it's in that flooded area close to where that bloodworm is at the top of the ladder. Surprisingly, there is no parasites. I gotta congratulate Chapter Lost. A round of applause for having no parasite jump scares.
Well,
Well,
in
Lost is like the
chapter
best chapter in the game anyway, so who gives a shit?
you know why, Brody?
Why?
Because it got lost again.
Oh,
You
for
got lost again.
fuck's sake.
Rhyme enough for me.
Oh, man.
But don't worry, it gets worse. If Lost having no parasites, the game will make up for it later. So in Below, there's one parasite in a locker. In Colony, there's one in a locker, and in the last chapter, chapter 4, Tower, there are 4 parasites. there are 3 chest parasites, and there's 1 locker one. It's and during development of the game, there were like all those like behind the scenes development things about like how the gameplay was perfected months before launch.
I know, I've
Or,
seen that.
Yeah.
Put more of
and-
those guys in there. No, Glenn.
Yeah.
Don't put more of those guys in there.
No. Yeah, because Glenn, like during the Comic-Con, during the Comic-Con thing where they attended with Karen Fukuhara and Sam Witwer, and Glenn was there too. Glenn mentioned about how like horror is just like comedy. You can't say the same joke over and over again. What does he go and do? Fill every fucking locker and chest with a little grub that like wants to slide down your throat like a fucking hentai.
Even Dead Space Remake removed the swarmers inside a chest, well, inside a box. Like haven't
Yeah, in chapter 7. Yep.
not in chapter 7 in general, like there's also one in
Yeah, there's a
chapter
couple
3.
on DS1.
Was there? Oh yeah. I mean, there's the swarmers in the toilet. That still happens, but I can't think of one where it's in a locker. I know in Dead Space 3 there was a fucking locker.
One in a locker.
No, locker
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
in those boxes. There was no one in the locker. Like
Right. Okay. So just boxes. Okay.
it's not Callisto Protocol.
Christ.
Man, I'm so hungry right now. But my fuel for my hatred of the Callisto Protocol.
He's angry. He's pissed.
Oh my god. Before anyone else, before I voice my opinion on it, does anyone want to mention the boss fights of the Callisto Protocol?
Which boss? The 4 times you hit?
Which
The-
boss? Number 2 head or number 3 head?
Alright,
Um,
number 4.
Yes,
My God.
I'm of course referring to 2 head. What do you guys think?
We're like fucking like 6-tuple head.
He's fun to kill in the environment.
Yeah.
Oh
There you
yes, yeah. Doing the dodges like on the platform when you first encounter him, you can like dodge and push him off the fucking platform. That's fucking great. Oh, actually, Fiery. I'm not sure if like in the Callisto Protocol speedrunning community, but I found out something really funny and cool with fuses. Because for some
Are you
reason,
talking about fuse duping?
so fuse what? Sorry.
Fuse? Are you talking about fuse duping?
I didn't know that it was duplicating. I thought I just took a fuse from a previous chapter and took it into the next chapter because what I
Oh,
did
you can do
is
that.
I managed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I managed to avoid the third 2-head boss fight because I just so happened to have a fuse from a previous chapter. So I didn't have to
Yeah.
go into the room to fight it. It was so good. I spared myself a boss fight with it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really doing
I
this.
am
brilliant
actually
tactic.
the one who came up with that idea in the speed run.
Oh, cool! I just found it
Oh, that's
unintentionally.
nice.
I'm like, yeah, I found it in like chapter habitat first, I think, and
Yeah,
like,
we
and then
ended
I
up
like,
we ended up routing not doing that because we realized it was actually slower than skipping the hallway afterwards.
okay,
But,
cool.
but originally we did skip the 2 heads with it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a fucking yeah, it was such a good find. But yeah, the boss fights as a whole, like, yeah, the design is cool, but they only have one.
I don't think the design's cool.
I don't know. I like the intimidating, like, you know, it's not even just a 2-head. It's like 2-body. That's more appropriate to call it 2-body because it's like 2 like split down the middle.
But the
I do
names
like
are so
how-
shit, by the way. Sorry
It's
to
what?
interrupt you, but the names are so shit. You got Big Mouth, 2 Head. Like, they're
Yeah.
shit. They're ass.
When I think of Big Mouth, I just think of that like
No.
terrible Netflix show.
I know.
The names are pretty meh, but yeah, I do like how when you do like damage to 2-headed like enough, it'll like cut like half its body off to like move. Well, it doesn't move faster, but it looks intimidating. It has one way of attacking you, same as the fucking brutes, which is, and in fact, you can continue dodging in the same direction, without having to switch it up, which is amazing. I found out the hard way when I was in the third, big 2-head boss fight. The third 2-head boss fight, I was using just alt fires on my hand cannon and my right gun, and I didn't have enough ammo to kill the boss. Whereas when I used the primary fires only, I managed to kill it. So like you're wasting more ammo than what's actually effective to kill enemies in the game if you're using the alt fires.
That's
Leave
kinda
it to
sad.
Black Iron. Piece of shit.
God, the big sorry, I keep saying Big Mouth. The 2-head. The 2-head is just so much. As if they weren't enough funtertainment to fight the first time, they recycled the fucker 3 more times in the last 2 chapters of the game. Glenn be like, "It was me, Brody. I slid in 3 more 2-heads so you'd have to keep playing this shitty-ass game."
Man, I wouldn't doubt it. Glenn
Yo,
saw
dog,
that
I
and was
heard you like
like,
2 heads, so I put a 2-head on your 2-head.
He just
there's probably more 2 heads
It's
in the
1
game.
head now.
yeah, he kind of did the mathematical formula like 2 elevated per 2. What would that give? 4. Okay, we're gonna put 4 2 heads.
It's like homie loves 2 heads so much that it's the deluxe edition figure of the game. Like holy
Glenn,
shit!
but Glenn, don't you think 4 bosses is enough? Shut up, get in those pajamas and crunch my game.
Oh my
Honestly,
God.
I hope there's 10 in the DLC.
Oh my god.
Hey, nice pajamas.
And you fight them back to back to back.
I hope every 3 waves in the horde mode, it's a 2 head.
Yep.
I fucking love 2-head. I love to punish myself with a bullet sponge.
Wow.
Game's pretty good.
The stealth gameplay, that was
Stealth.
lackluster. What stealth?
I actually had to think about it for like 5 whole seconds, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah, like you literally kill everyone that's in the area. If you kill one, the other one won't like notice unless you shot a fighter or run. Then it's like
Or if you grip them
Cowabunga.
close, like to a wall and such, they might like notice you too. But like if you
touch
stab
you.
them right next to each other, you pull a London reference on like one of them next to the other. They won't even hear it.
to be fair, they kind of remind me of the how you call it?
Don't say
The-
clickers.
No, not the clickers. The Dead Space 3 enemies. The
The feeders. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. True. You just keep like teasing them by shining a light in their face like just for like half a second, and then they do like, "Oh, I guess the light's gone. Oh, the light's back. Oh, the light's gone."
Or you just punch the floor, and they will just react to the sound. They'll be like, "Oh, I heard something. Let's investigate."
God, remember they listened to like community feedback about the healing animation about how slow it was. So they turned a
no. I did
turned a
honestly. I think the patch was shit. It should have kept the same fucking like. This game is piss easy. Why are you making it easier? You should be healing outside of combat. Where like it's not designed to be used during combat. Like they shouldn't have sped it up, man. Not only does it look fucking stupid.
I
But
didn't have
it
any
makes the
issues
game
with that.
easier.
Yeah, I didn't have any issue with healing.
Me neither.
honestly. Like I
yeah.
kind of liked
I didn't
it.
mind the slow one too.
I didn't mind the slow one, but I can understand people not really liking it compared to other games. But
Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
did feel like it kind of balanced things out a little bit more.
Oh, I was that close to mention someone. Just keep it, Elias. Don't say anything.
You ever slander people live on podcast? It's kind of fucked up. I just resist all fucking urge to
Okay, I'll do
slander
it right
people.
now, man.
I don't even know what you're talking about. It's the funniest shit.
I don't know what he's talking about either, but
Me neither.
Yeah.
I'll throw someone's name out there. Watch.
The photo mode was cool. At least they launched with that.
Yeah, you know what? Say
Yeah.
Wait, the what?
The photo mode. Photo mode.
Oh,
At least
Yeah.
the game had that, which is pretty
You know what-
cool. You get to
you know what-
really appreciate the high fidelity big mouth cheeks.
You know what's bad when you're scrounging for positives that it has a photo. What the fuck?
Well, unless you were off, he did like good videos of the combats, making those montages.
Like it's fun,
no,
man. Like it's not bad. It's satisfying. Like it's like it carried me like 6 playthroughs worth. Like it's not like I'm not falling asleep at the keyboard, almost. But like it would be rectified if it was not hold A on the keyboard or hold left or stick. If it was just press button, dodge or parry or literally anything else. Like
Making it a bit
I don't know, man.
rhythm type game, but the lightest of everything.
Like it was just gritty as fuck, gritty parrying. Like you parry so hard, you take like a biophage's left arm off, and that leaves him open for the tentacles. Like there's just like wasted potential of the video game. It's gonna be you're transferring your anger over to me, man. I'm getting pissed.
He said the magic word, potential.
I'm getting pissed. But,
Oh fuck.
like, do you think the DLC? Do you think we can save the game?
I mean,
God.
we still got one upcoming mode, which is going to be the riot mode, supposedly the horror mode.
Horde mode.
Let's see how
To
that
really appreciate the gameplay some more.
Let's see how that one will be, and then the DLC. Like,
Story.
depending on how the DLC will be, it might be the final nail. If it fails, we might never see a Callisto Protocol 2.
I mean, didn't it already fail? Like the fucking Crafton lost, like, I want to say millions or billions of their like Korean currency in like investment into the game,
But
and
it's-
it didn't make up for it.
Yeah, but they still have like upcoming content to release. So far, Hardcore as a free update, well, not bad, not that much of a deal. But Contagious mode,
Such a fucking laugh. It really says something when even the Callisto Protocol's baton lickers, like that's just my word for like, you know, dick riders. The Callisto Protocol's baton lickers are like, you realize you fucked up when even they, your most dedicated fans, are hating on your updates, like your new content. Like
Check
I've
out
seen like
15 new death animations, but it's not 15; it's actually 14.
but no, they changed.
yeah, and contagion mode isn't permadeath, like the Steam description says. It's only a chapter reset.
Wait, give me a second. I'm gonna check out the description of the season pass and then for the mode, because the description was different for both.
Yes,
Hope
it is.
Riot
Yeah.
DLC is good though, all things considered. Like, I'll actually be interested if it's like a really really good horde mode with like a bunch of arenas, some with the traps, some with no traps.
Can you imagine if they add like a cool ass soundtrack like they do in Mercenaries, like Resident Evil Mercenaries?
You bet your ass I'm vibing to Resident Evil Mercenaries.
Okay.
But what if you like get to wave 5 and it's just like boom, 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 like,
Run for me.
Alright.
God, it's droning.
I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to
see.
post
Sorry,
it in
it's the errors
the,
on my keyboard.
I'm going to post them in the podcast business. So this is the one
Yep.
from the season pass site, well, page.
Isn't
on
finished with you yet? No, God.
Contagion,
and
customize.
then,
Yeah, and permadeath. Yeah.
and not only that, give me a second. Now I'm going to go for the what was Other Way Skin collection? I think it was. No, wait.
Papa bread. I love the the thumbnail they use for the contagion bundle.
It's fucked, man. It's like, why?
Chicken's getting tentacled.
You thought that was okay? Josh G. Hamill probably didn't even accept that. He probably hadn't even seen it.
Oh.
And this is of the mode, individual,
Contagion bundle.
like just the mode, the contagion. So from 13
Yep.
to 14.
14 new death animations to the hand of the biophage.
Nah, but it's
Wow,
kind of-
so they both fucked up the count, and they wait, is it no, yeah, 13, yeah, 13 versus 14. So they fucked up the count of death animations, and they also fucked up the fact that it's not permadeath, it's just a chapter reset. Fucking hell.
yeah,
Their
and
marketing has been like whack throughout, like prior to launch and like even during.
yeah, they didn't even update the season pass description to make it a date, you know.
Oh right, yeah, gotcha.
And the thing is that only this mode has the new death scenes, or it can be seen as well on the regular modes. Because honestly, it's just exclusive to Contagions mode. Like, nah, I'm not gonna waste
No,
time to.
I feel like you can see the death animations in each mode. I don't think there's no sadistic motherfucker who wants to get all the way to the 2 head just to die to see a new animation. Like, I'm sure it's you can see them in all the
I feel like
modes.
it's in all.
remember
Yeah.
the conversation that we had before the game was released, and we got info about the modes, about the content, the season pass.
Yeah, yeah.
That scenes were like behind the paywall.
Paywall, yeah. I
That
remember
did,
that.
that didn't age
That was a
well.
lot of conversation.
That didn't age well for
It did
Striking
not, no.
Distance Studios.
The fucking game itself didn't age well.
That's like you read the Riot bundle description and it's like, wonder how they're gonna fuck up this description.
Like I was.
Oh, it's actually not a horde mode.
Wait, hold on. It says here, unlock unique finishing moves. Like, what does that mean? Unlock unique finishing moves.
Probably like the fucking that one stun baton move he used on the Big Mouth, where like
He beats the fuck out of it.
Yeah, he like folds the baton up and he uses like brass knuckles on the biophage.
That was in the
yeah.
original. Like that was in the normal version. It's not.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
That's I'm referencing that in terms of like what it means by finishing moves.
Oh fuck! Here it is. The Riot bundle also includes 11 new enemy death animations. It's going to be 10 death animations. 100%. It's going to be 10.
Or maybe one more. Who knows?
12 new death animations. Yeah, that'd be fucking. That's worth my money. Even though I've got the season pass, so
Papa Bread
that's-
forcing me to play the Callisto Protocol again. At first, I thought this was a curse.
It is,
I
man.
realized. It is like, yes.
What is that noise? Why does he make that noise?
What the
Fucking
fuck?
my auto-tuned Ferris.
Like, what the fuck? Why does it go?
myself.
Wait, why does he say that?
Oh,
There's
maybe.
always a price to pay.
I mean, that
Hey,
was
hey
nice.
Ferris, what do you got on top of your head? To pay.
Man, shut up.
Fucking I
This one's
Also-
bad as well.
to go on a little tangent of like something that I did appreciate, and then it later like I saw less of it like later in the game, is the world building and the storytelling. Was in the earlier chapters, I felt like the world building and the storytelling was much stronger because it didn't fucking exposition it to you and to Jacob like it does in the last two chapters of the game. In Colony and Tower, you just get this massive like lore dump from the fucking Doctor and seeing like, you know, her holograms and shit. It just explains everything and it ruins like any kind of subtlety. I liked when one of my favorite moments was in Habitat. Habitat in general is like one of my favorite chapters, like probably my favorite chapter. Was there's a fuse room you can go into, and it's unlike all the other like optional areas you can go in, because once you go into it, you see there's like this airlock area with all these like hazmat suits, but then you go into the room and you see like a parasite scurry away. You go to shoot it, but then you realize it's gone. But you look around and the room is like, it's subtly referencing what you're going to find later. That weird like flower thing encased in that like plasticky glass that they were studying in the lab. And there's like, you know, a body with the big like biophage pimple over its head sort of thing. And Jacob comments saying like some bad stuff happened here, or like it's some kind of experimentation going on. So you get some like world building without it being like rubbed in your face of like Jacob or some other character having to explain, oh, this secret room was used for this so and so purpose. It leaves the player to like interpret it how they want, and I like that. But unfortunately, like just with the later chapters, they just do too much exposition and explaining. Even Jacob like does it. He like during that whole memory scene where he's like seeing what happened with like Danny and her sister, and Max is just standing over him. He's like explaining everything. It's like, it wasn't a terrorist attack. They doctored the footage to do something, test on your rope, test on Black Iron. I could have stopped it, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that he felt sorry for that, because he didn't even knew, like, he was assigned a job just to deliver some cargo and that's it. Like, I didn't understand that reason to feel guilty of just causing an outbreak. Like, he didn't knew in the first place. Like, yeah, you did open to see what was inside, but he didn't open to see the content.
Did you also like not understand why they tried so hard to make him like out like a bad guy?
To be fair, No,
You do belong here.
no clue, honestly, but
Well,
it didn't
I
make
I think
sense.
the thing was like what they're basically going for was like he's kind of like your average Joe.
Yeah.
He's not really trying. He doesn't really care. He's just doing his job, doing his thing, not getting involved. And because he doesn't get involved with something that he is actively involved with, like thousands of people die, right? And like the whole entire like story of the game with Jacob is like him just being like, I don't really care. I just want to get the fuck out of here, right? And then like as it progresses and he kind of like starts to realize his part in it, and then also like his responsibility, and like because his responsibility also has to do with like him not really taking responsibility, and that also led to his to Max dying. Like if they didn't deal with any of that, or if they actually like double checked, or try to do something about it, or figure out what was going on before delivering it, like they wouldn't have been boarded, they wouldn't have crashed, Max wouldn't have died, all this crazy shit wouldn't have happened on the planet, thousands of people wouldn't have, it's like
But I mean,
it's like towards the end of the game, like you kind of like see him stop being like this selfish asshole who just doesn't really care, and he's just like, yeah, I just want to get out of here, and he's just like, I need to fucking actually do something and like change some shit,
Yeah, but the thing is that he
which
was
I don't
like,
think they did in the best way possible.
No, they
but that's
didn't.
kind of what they're going for.
he was
fact
basically used like as a pawn, basically to
Yes.
deliver, but to be guilty of the actions of other people that truly are responsible, that knew what was inside those containers.
Well, it's
Well,
like you're
he
guilty
didn't
because
know.
you could have done something about it.
Yeah,
but he didn't
didn't
know that it was like biophage within the canisters. He
I mean, he
just
didn't know it was
realized
biophage, but he looked at it and he was like, yeah, this shit looks fucked up.
Yeah.
it's none of our business, because why? So there was several cargo ships doing these kinds of transport missions. What? So I know that you brought up the point that like
I think
he
the other
could've
thing is
stopped
that
any
Max,
points, but
well, Max also brings it up, like he's concerned about it. Like I think they were also like in the beginning of the game. I think that's what they were arguing about.
yeah, but
You know?
what I don't get is so with your case of point, it's they could have gotten any person to do it. If Max and Jacob had nutted up and said, "Nah, we can't deliver this. This seems suspicious." If the UJC realize that they're thinking that, they'll just get someone else to do it. And who knows? They probably will punish fucking Jacob and Max for even sleuthing with the that evidence, because they probably
Punish?
want to cover it up. Anyone even knowing about it in the first place.
They would have
So-
killed
No,
him.
I agree.
It's not like
but
he's an inherently bad person. Yeah, he can be
No,
a bit
that's not what I'm
selfish in the
saying.
grand scheme of things, but like I'd say he's more of a blissfully ignorant man.
what I'm saying is like I think like basically like throughout the entire game he doesn't really give a shit. He's kind of just putting it off. He even lies about it. Right?
But he saves Elias, and Elias helps him. He's not selfish
No, I'm not.
because
I'm saying like you can see a lot of selfish actions in how he's talking to people and acting in certain ways. He even
Look at
lies to
Danny.
Danny about what's inside and what's going on. He won't even tell her about it.
that's probably because Danny did technically cause this whole like shit to the whole imprisonment in Black Iron to start, and like Max dying. Had the delivery gone through well enough, and
True.
Danny didn't board their ship, they probably would have made it, and Max would have been alive. But like pretty much it's only Jacob and Danny who like have the Jacob is only distrustful of like Danny, because like with Elias, him and Elias get on pretty buddy by the end. With
I
Elias,
want to say by the end, Elias was in for like 3 chapters.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I said Elias. I wouldn't say by the end. Elias was in the game for like 3 chapters. He was like barely in the game.
By the end. By the way, when I meant by the end, I meant by the end of Elias's life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Elias like trusting Jacob enough to tell him his backstory, and hoping his words would actually come. Like Jacob would take on his words, take on the advice. I mean,
But with Danny, it
Whereas-
would be understandable why he was like distrustful, because in the first place, they attacked them and caused the ship to crash and result in Max dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have happened if they didn't deliver all that shit and they didn't question it or try and do something about it, right?
But it could have happened as well
Alright,
to
I guess
the
we'll just
other
be
ships.
jobless.
Well, like what I'm basically saying is like he didn't care about it the entire game. You know, like even Elias is trying to throw like subtle hints. Like obviously Elias doesn't know he did that, but you know that's what Elias is talking about the whole time. You know, where it's like Jacob's all like, "You're probably just dealt a shitty hand." You know, like you couldn't do anything about it, and then Elias is like, "No, like I did this. I'm the reason I'm here." You know. And then you know like Jacob like kind of takes that in a little bit but not too much. I think like the thing is Jacob doesn't really actually understand what he had a hand in doing until he actually goes into Danny's memories and you know sees it happening firsthand. You know, like sees like wow, like she's literally looking at her dead fucking sister. You know, like, and I could have stopped this. You know, like I could have done something to stop this. Look at all these fucking thousands of people dead. I
Yeah.
could have actually done something to stop this, and I didn't.
Even if
You
you,
know?
even if you would have done something, it still wouldn't have changed the course, because there were like
I mean,
other
it may have,
ships.
it might have. You never know.
Maybe
You
it
can't
wasn't.
just say
Just
it
get another
like
cargo pilot to transport it, and then Danny's crew also go to intercept that new cargo ship with different pilots.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you never know though.
Yeah, we never know. Well, we can't prove that it could happen. You can't prove it couldn't have happened. It's like
It
Yeah.
just remains to the
What if-
to what the
Yeah,
player
what I'm
believes.
saying is, I think it's natural to take on the guilt.
the characters themselves, like the actors did an amazing job with the dialogue and like the motion capture work. They all have like each character has like a good quality about them, but then they also have a big flaw that like I'm a bit more like serious with, like less of a joke. Like yeah, Jacob is like someone you want to see survive. Danny is chasing like something bigger than herself. Elias is a troubled man, but he's a knowledgeable one, with like, you know, his knowledge of the prison I'm in. Captain Ferris, like, he steals every scene he's in with his like intimidating demeanor and later comical demeanor. But like in terms of flaws, like Jacob, despite his job, his like place of birth and like his height listed in like his bio, we don't really get much lore on him besides like the comic. I'm pretty sure like the comic only like shows us one new thing about Jacob, and that's like he likes his song like These Are My Favorite Things. And the game just like, yeah, we've already gone through it before about how like the game makes it out like he's meant to be the bad guy, but the twist's not really proving he's guilty of, well, yeah, but a blissfully ignorant man, as I said before. Danny is, I was very interested in like learning more about Danny and also like the Outer Way. Like I want to see some like, you know, compelling faction like lore basically. I want to see more about the UJC and how the Outer Way want to, you know, take down the UJC and probably prop up something new, something more democratic and whatnot. But we get none of that. We get no explanation, like no extra lore in the Outer Way besides that, oh, they're a terrorist group led by Danny, and that's it.
Maybe on DLC. Who knows?
It would be cool, yeah, for story DLC to cover something like that. That would be really cool. Because games that do factions really well, like at the top of my head, Fallout and the Stalker series, they do factions really well. Nothing says compelling factions like Discord users arguing about which faction's better in the general chat. It'd be cool if we could have gotten to see more about those the Callisto Protocols factions.
Yeah.
And also, Danny seems to like disregard her suspicions on Jacob after chapter Lost, because she's convinced once she like opens the box and sees it's just medical supplies, she's pretty much almost convinced that like Jacob, alright, maybe he didn't know. And they get a bit too buddy like late in the later chapters compared to like the cool mutual distrust they had since the beginning of the game. I would have it would have been cool to see like them work only as partners and like only like tolerating each other just to like get out of there alive than to like, you know, go the way it went where they're like super like close and they're talking to each other very casually.
To be fair, I'm kind of surprised that Jacob didn't open the secret compartment when they were inside the crash ship, while Danny was checking to see what was inside the boxes. Like, that could have been like
Yeah.
moments where you could just show to Danny, but that could have resulted in Danny being more distrustful or maybe aggressive, while hostile on Jacob.
It would have been cool if they did something like that. I feel like, so, look, obviously, it will hurt more to keep something hidden from someone and they find out themselves and realize that you lied when you knew. It's more hurtful on that person if you do that. It's much better to just tear off the band-aid while it's like as soon as you can, basically, like just tear it off to get the pain away by telling the truth. Yes, the person will get angry, but they'll forgive you at a faster rate because they know you told the truth. Had Jacob like opened that thing and like shown Danny those like capsules, perhaps, yeah, she could have been pissed at the start, but then it grew to, you know, trust Jacob because he actually told her the truth. But
Also,
instead, all
like-
we got is like,
Yeah.
all we got was like Jacob hiding it. And at the end of that scene, you actually do see like Jacob stand there and like briefly like look at the crate like again before he like walks out.
And then
Like,
Max
you know,
comes
making
out.
it a bit more. Sorry.
And then Max comes out.
Oh yeah, Max comes out. Then Danny walks out of the room, and then when Danny's out of the room, he like looks over at the crate once more before the screen fades to black.
There could have been like a good moment to realize what was inside those capsules, well, those compartments, like those cylinders, like both of them just standing there, not to comprehend what they were like looking at. Just being surprised of what was inside those canisters. To be fair, like that parasite.
Yeah, I feel like they could have easily come to the conclusion it's a biophage, judging by like the look of it. It is just like a scaled down model of the parasite Jacob will see like in the game. I feel like
Actually,
I
just
feel
what
like
that
they
is.
easily What's up?
Is that actually just what that is? Scaled down
Yeah.
those parasites?
Yeah, it's literally just scaled down one.
Nice.
I don't understand if the parasite came from that big, the big fish that they found underneath Callisto surface.
Yeah.
Why the parasites look like that? Because the parasites, their model, they use like human fingers as their legs. So, is the big fish, the parasites it leaks from its body, are they composed of humans or? I don't get
know.
it.
Catch you in the DLC.
They catch you in the DLC.
I mean, that creature doesn't have a name, right?
No, it doesn't.
We could call it El Océano, just like the El Lago from Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Fuck it.
We've-
Might as well.
We've had Big Mouth, we've had Two Head. I'm gonna call him Big Head.
Big
Nah.
fish from Iron Lung.
Big fish. This is a very
Big.
subtle Iron Lung reference.
We're gonna call him Joel.
We've come full circle, Papa Bread. We've come back to the Iron Lung reference.
Yes. Yeah.
With Elias, man, it's like we got that really cool backstory on him, but he's killed off almost immediately afterwards. Elias could have been fleshed out some more by like using the game's downtime of like crawling through vents or
And
shit.
they should have kept him alive longer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then killed
literally.
him off in a more impactful way. And
Yes.
like when we know him more for than like fucking 4 chapters.
Yep. The had them like converse more, get to know each other, because maybe Elias could have asked Jacob a question about like, what are you in for? And then Jacob will like try and lie, saying, "Oh, my ship crashed for no particular like reason." And Elias is like, "There's got to be more to that sort of thing." And then, you know, have a bit more of a back and forth, so we get to know some more lore about Jacob, because we don't know too much about him honestly, besides his bio, his like biography and his like audio log you pick up at the start.
All I know
Yeah.
is he gets me places.
And he gets me, yeah, true. Captain
holograms.
Ferris. Oh god, he wasn't used enough. For someone whose voice was revealed before the protagonists in the trailers for the game. But yeah, Ferris's voice, voice actor Sam, did voice work in the trailers before Jacob's voice actor was didn't had any work in them. For a game for someone who's whose voice was revealed in one of the first few trailers, he's one of the most underutilized game villains I've ever seen. He might as well be from a fucking Far Cry game. He
I mean, his whole boss fight aesthetic, everything about him just literally did not fit the game.
Yeah.
not know. I would have rather Jacob. Would have rather Jacob and him have a fight while he's human. I would have expected. I like to make the comparison of the fight with. I forgot if it's Dave or David from the first Last of Us, the cannibal dude.
Yeah, David.
David, yeah. I would have compared it to that where perhaps Jacob gets disarmed by Ferris, and Jacob has to quietly navigate through a certain area to get some hits on him with the one weapon he has left, which is his shiv, and he has to fuck up Ferris every moment he can. Otherwise, in such case, Jacob will Ferris will insta kill Jacob by maybe gripping him, pulling him, he grips him from a distance and pulls him in, and with his other hand he fucking stun batons the top half of Jacob's head off.
Yeah, of course the top half, because you know what? It's very accurate because all they take off is his top half.
Yeah, we can't afford a full decapitation, guys. We're going with half a head.
Yeah.
Yeah, the half a head was cool, the first 90 times. The 11 rat bundle daps.
Big head.
No head.
Two head, big head, big mouth, and now half head.
There you go. Callisto Protocol, ladies and gentlemen. What a masterpiece.
I fucking love Warden Cole's whole character was saying the name of the game, thus starting the outbreak within Black Iron. Computer.
Initiate the Callisto Protocol.
The Callisto Protocol. He said it! He said it!
Ooh.
You
But
drunk
yeah,
yet, Helios? Your whiskey in there?
No, just a bit tired.
Yeah.
It's Callisto Protocol, man. I've been
You're
fueled by
tired.
anger for the past
I'm
hour.
enough for me.
Mate, hey, next time. Sorry, lost again. Maybe.
Lost again in the sauce.
Oh my god.
The
So yeah, let's jump into another topic of the Callisto Protocol. For example, the
Sorry, one sec. Sorry, I just want to
sorry.
quickly mention one thing quickly.
okay, go for it.
No.
Alright. Can someone please explain to me how the fuck did Danny get from the top of the tower to the bottom where Jacob is? If Jacob fell from the tower and went through that vent, how the fuck did she get there?
She's simply goated.
Sing women, sing.
She must have used her superpowers to get down there.
Yeah, do you know what? That's good. I like that.
All right, we'll
Good
just go
enough
with
for
that.
me.
All right, you want to go Helios?
Yes. No. Let's talk about the factions and the unquote connection to the PUBG universe.
Oh man.
Oh
I
man.
mean, that was an amazing video. I saw it as a Reddit post first, and then I saw the YouTube video on it. It
Yeah.
was fucking wild. It almost makes you wish, if the story would have been better if they'd gone with that.
I mean, they went with it, in a way.
Oh, yeah, in a way, but there were a few things that they did change in the end, like having next to no human enemies, besides the two prisoners at the very start that you kill. The,
I love that sequence. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that sequence got good cinematography too. I like that brawl. It's fun.
It was cool, yeah. And the stabbing of the crowbar through the guy's palm, that was fucked.
Yeah, I wish we could have used the crowbar more, or at least swap it back to the crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best way to start a battle royale.
Yep.
The connections, they use this. They use the same. So what is the actual canon name of the cult, the space Illuminati of the Callisto Protocol? Are they called the Commonality, or is that what they're referring to about the evolution of human?
I thought they're called something else.
The
I don't
circle.
remember
Not
the name,
not
though.
the circle.
Callipolis?
this, no, commonality.
Kaleidoscope.
No,
Yeah.
Callipolis, I
No.
believe that's what it's called.
Are you sure?
Because the achievement for finding. Yeah. All right, the Steam achievement. So the achievement's called the commonality, but the description says uncover the mystery of Callipolis. 20.4% of people have gotten it. I'll send the screenshot in business in podcast business chat.
I feel like someone
I'm
made
a
out
part-
both those words.
Because
Someone
warden,
made up all words.
Because when the warden's talking to those masked individuals, he says the commonality is like so close, implying it's like an event that's happening or to come. I would think the commonality is like referring to the their experiment to like make the subject alpha, the peak human to survive the harshness of space, while the mystery of the Callipolis is the name of the faction itself. I'm pretty sure it's Greek.
Which is literally like Callipolis, like, oh my god. But yeah,
Callipolis, Latinized form, Callipolis, which is Greek for beautiful city. Kalos means beauty, and then polis means city. Right. So a faction named Beautiful City.
yeah, that still didn't aged well. Like, it's completely out of PUBG universe, but uses elements from PUBG universe. So, what is going to be in the end, Glenn? It is part or it is not part? Because by the logo,
He was so proud of the fact that the Callisto Protocol was no longer set in the PUBG universe. There was like a tweet he did before it branched off from PUBG saying, "Oh, it's going to be PUBG, but it's not going to be close. It's only going to be loose things here and there." He rephrased the same sentence like 4 times in the same tweet. But like the Callipolis faction, they even have even down to the masks they wear, the golden masks. Same thing in PUBG. That's what the people organizing the whole event wear. It's like fucking Squid Games. And the biochips that they have like in the back of people's necks, that was also featured in like PUBG lore. Fucking. And so what? Out of way, just like the people trying to bring down the Mr. PUBG controlling all the battle royales.
oh my god, Eduardo, that was
That sounds so
nice.
corny. I can't say the word battle royale like seriously anymore.
Yo, I saw
Player
that
unknown
comment.
and his battleground.
One sec. Fiery, I saw that comment that Eduardo did. Glenn calling Fiery to tell him to cut the stream.
Cut the stream! Stop the count!
God damn it, Eduardo. Alright, that kind of wake me up a bit.
Good.
You need to wake up a bit.
Yeah, it's true.
I know. I mean, you should be more tired than me. You're like,
Yeah, it's true. Streaming for what is that? 24 hours and 47 minutes. Good fucking grief.
Fucking champion right here.
he's determined. He's determined to get out to.
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off.
Remember when we talked about Dead Space Remake's performance on PC? Yeah.
I'm pretty pissed off about that too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have a hunch that Callisto Protocol's launch on PC was also questionable.
Actually, I mean, yeah, it
Look
was
at this
good.
frame rate.
See, what's funny to me is like I'd say the performance of Callisto was a billion times. It was terrible, right? It was terrible on launch, but the game still worked and functioned.
And did not crash.
Dead
It did crash once for me. Funny
Dead
enough.
Space did not work or function at all.
It's true.
Yeah,
At least Callisto didn't get me trapped in a room for 2 weeks.
but just
No,
like
at
I
least
pointed
I
out,
like-
So didn't make me fucking have to start over 10 different saves, uninstall, reinstall, delete all my fucking saves.
So like with the Callisto Protocol, I felt like in terms of frame drops, it had more than Dead Space Remake. It was
100%.
like
100%.
fluent throughout the entire thing. It was only
Yeah.
until like the last 3 chapters of Dead Space Remake where they were there. In terms of crashes, yeah, Dead Space Remake, I crashed more, Helios crashed more, fucking Papa Bread soft lock, you crashed fucking Fiery.
I crashed and soft locked all over the
Yeah,
place.
Yeah, the meanwhile I only crashed once in the Callisto Protocol, and funny enough, it was when I died to like the first biophage after killing those 2 prisoners. Like it smacked half my head off, and I fell to the ground. Screen faders are black, and it crashed my desktop.
Yeah,
Remember, you got bodied so hard it fucking uninstalled your game.
remember when I
I still
pointed out?
can. You go.
Yeah, remember when I pointed out about the differences between the console and PCs? That on PC there are like
Yeah.
multiple builds, but for a console, it's just one hardware. So for console, the experience was better for the Callisto Protocol and also for this best remake. But on PC, yeah, that's a different story.
The PlayStation has no games, and the PC has no frames. To shamelessly steal from Pyrocynical.
It was also this
the-
available on Xbox, so
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's a common joke. The PlayStation has no games. What was it? Never mind. You guys talk. I'm gonna try and bring up something that I had in my head.
Brain rot, Callisto, brain rot.
Oh, no,
What?
I got it. It was about. I don't know who the fuck thought it was a good idea to. I don't know how it's acceptable to just launch the game to begin with on PC if it was in such a state like that. How could they have thought people would receive the game well?
I mean, like, this has happened forever.
yes, true.
Like,
It's just fucking
almost
terrible.
like
This was
over half
even
of
worse.
PC ports for gaming have always been dog shit.
This was even worse, man.
I don't
There's
know,
always a
man.
price to pay.
Did you see Fallout's, man?
Oh,
Oh, I was. Wait, which one?
76.
I think 3 and Vegas were pretty fucking bad.
I mean, I have an alright experience with New Vegas, to be honest, because most of the time I play with vanilla. I play with like no mods. And it's
think-
like I get.
I mean, like on
not
launch.
too many crashes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
on
also going to
launch.
say.
I played on Xbox on launch.
Yeah.
Evil, diabolical PC laugh.
I mean, I also played on Xbox on launch, but I had all my friends are like a bunch of my friends like in person were all PC nerds. Not like that's a bad thing.
PC
but-
nurse.
Yeah, they all like only use PC. Like they were like hardcore PC master race. They always gave me shit. Yeah, it was funny. Like I had to let them borrow my fucking New Vegas for 360. Just so they could play it because of how bad it was on PC.
Jesus.
I believe
fucking
it's like
Christ.
only 1.6% of people on PC have like beat New Game Plus on the Callisto Protocol.
Bro, I haven't even done that yet. I'd 100% of the game at one point, but then
Same.
they added new achievements
New
and they
achievements.
fucking
Same.
killed me.
Literally
That's happened to
same.
me so many games.
I got all of them
man.
too.
That happened to me
Is
with Doom Eternal, Resi 5, or not Resi 5, Resi 8, and then Callisto. I don't think it's happened to any other games.
Going for
Finish the game in
100%.
hardcore mode, 0.6%.
I'm one of
Finish
those.
the game in hardcore mode, New Game
Oh, no.
Plus, 0.4%.
Oh,
Finish
never mind.
the game. Finish game in Contagion mode, 0.1%, and finish in Contagion mode without dying, 0.1%.
Those are the people that made the videos. of the
Yeah,
death
probably.
scenes.
All the devs being like crunched into playing it.
But Jesus fucking Christ, 0.1%. That's
I thought about doing that.
Impressive. Very nice.
I'll
Let's look
totally
at
get
let's
them
look at Dead
eventually.
Space Remakes achievements.
Thought about it for content, but
I'll probably
Let's
get them
see.
eventually, but like not anytime soon.
I mean, yeah,
maybe
I'll
when
probably-
Rat comes out.
I-
yeah, I'll do it when the fucking DLC is out.
I'm gonna come clean. I did try it out Contagious mode, but when I tried to checkpoint reset to see what would happen, I got back into the aftermath and I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm gonna uninstall the game.
Well,
No, literally. I just did that.
Yeah. The alright, so in terms of Dead Space Remake statistics. Quiet, Spurg Runner. Yeah. So, I'm trying to find where is it? Complete chapter 12. How many people? Yeah, how many people have beaten the game? Right, 41.7%. And then in terms of like New Game Plus. So what was it before? New Game Plus was
1.6.
1.6, right. New Game Plus on PC for Dead Space Remake, 7.9%. Plasma Cutter only, 6.2%. Seeing the alternate ending, 6%. And then finally, the least completed achievement is Untouchable. Complete the game in Impossible mode, 5.3%.
Yeah,
Compared to Callisto Protocol's 0.1% on Contagion.
I mean, to be fair, all those
Hardcore.
modes came out late on Callisto.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it really
Whereas-
shows the lack of returning players to the game.
I mean, to be fair, Dead
To be
Space
fair,
having
let me shit
under
on the Dead
50
Space remake.
No, I'm just saying having under 50% of people that played your game beat it is a little weird. I've never
Very common.
actually.
I think that's
Is that
very
common?
common. Yeah, it's very common.
15.
I-
Have you seen the amount of people who haven't
It's under
achieved? Have you seen the amount of people who haven't beaten Subnautica by like touching water? There's an achievement to like take your first dive, and there's like you look at the statistic of the people who couldn't. We gotta find that shit.
No, but like, I don't know. Check like your favorite game's achievement rate, and I guarantee you, like, not beating the game is like above 50. I think it's actually a very common thing.
Shall we do the comparison with Resident Evil 4 remake?
Well, Resident Evil 4 is
Oh,
quite
that
new.
Definitely for another time with the reference of them all.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna check it out either way. I'm just curious.
Oh, you're talking about achievements, right.
Yeah, achievements. What do you think? I was going to... global achievements.
I would not know because I've never played the first Resident Evil 4, and I haven't. I hope to get to remake. I've heard great things, so I'll probably end up getting it. But yeah,
Alright.
at the moment I'm just avoiding gameplay.
Listen to me.
Yeah, take.
So I already have this. So, complete the main story on professional mode. 12.4% people. No, yeah, 12.4%. S plus rank investigator. Oh no, that's the hardcore. Where's the one with the? Where's the Leon S? Where the fuck is that one?
Oh fuck.
So yeah, 12.4 on professional mode, which is basically hardcore difficulty,
Yep.
but the parries needs to be perfect. Like you need to time the pairing.
Yeah.
And the least one is... Oh boy.
This has been fucking good. From the joys of talking about
The
Dead Space
joys.
remake, and then I was gonna say from the joys of talking about the Dead Space remake and the nostalgia of the game to the joys of expressing my
Love
emotion
for Callisto Protocol.
Callisto Protocol. It's been really good. I will have to hop off in
Yeah.
a second. So unless you guys got stuff to say or you want to end the podcast or you're gonna keep going, it's up to you.
To be fair, I was like expecting worse about Callisto Protocol, but yeah.
Or we literally
way-
ragged on it for probably about an hour and a half. Like, how much worse could you
It's
get?
worse. We did pretty well.
Yeah, I mean we could just wrap it up like real fast, like with the last phase, which is the comparison between the two games. But yeah.
All right. You want a speed round?
Patent pending.
So basically, just like you saw the achievements percentage of the people that finished it, there were like more people that played Dead Space remake, and just like Fari mentioned earlier, like with the hardcore and contagion mode, they came out late, but without that made their difference. Like regarding enemy spawns, like the spawns are the same. It's just that you get less resources, you can sell valuable stuff for less credits, enemies deals more damage.
Take more damage.
And some button does less damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like on the contagion, and hardcore I think the same. But yeah, the contagion and hardcore there isn't that much difference. Like if you die, you restart the chapter.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's part of the season pass content. So I'm kind of eager to see what the riot mode will bring out for the game. I hope it's going to be at least a better mode and a fun one. And then the story DLC will be the, how I call it, the definitive test to see if the game will.
Yeah. Mark my words right now. Clip this right now.
Yeah.
The Callisto Protocol story DLC was it confirmed in summer? It doesn't really matter. The Callisto DLC will be good. It has the Bread patented approval. The Callisto Protocol DLC is going to be good. Mark my words, boys. It is currently, what day is it today? It is the 9th of April, in this time zone at least. And this game will be good. Mark my words.
Let's see if Striking Distance Studios can bowl for a spare.
Bro,
Yeah.
I feel like my words to fucking like smack me in the mouth so bad.
Yeah, if they can deliver, then maybe the Callisto Protocol 2 might be
You
possible.
can't make a Callisto Protocol 2. That's like something else.
I
With
mean,
what money?
The
All
second
that money
protocol,
went to the sweat graphics.
I mean,
the
they
second protocol on Callisto.
might give it a
The
try.
Europa
Just like
agreement.
yeah, just like the Dead Space had. Like they didn't reach the sales numbers that they were expecting, but still they gave green light for Dead Space 2 as well.
There's a difference between not making sales and everyone ragging on your fucking game. Like DS1 probably didn't sell, but people enjoyed it.
I can't wait for Striking Distance Studios to do what that Forspoken studio did and just shut down.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Like
I embezzled funds with my mind.
the most important thing that Striking Distance should do is not rush, take their time, and do a polished product.
Yep.
And
I
not
crunched my employees with my freaking mind.
and not well apart from that, but not lying while doing interviews about certain features that the game won't have at the end on the final product.
Hey, nice pajamas.
And also using the nostalgia card regarding the trailers to you. I mean, at least for me, the trailers for the Callisto
I'll be
Protocol
fair.
had that Space effect.
We're in an age that live action trailers are dying out. It used to be the shit back in 2012, but I'm glad because Glenn Schofield is probably still living in about 2011 right now. We actually got a live action trailer for the game, which I'm very happy with because it's been a long time since a live action video game trailer. And I am so chuffed to have seen that.
Halo 3 ODST live action trailer.
That's probably one of the best live action trailers for a game.
Very fucking good.
Halo went on smoke with them trailers, not gonna lie.
Yeah, until it gets lost again.
No, man, yeah, we were doing so well.
Alright.
But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna need to edit 3 hours.
You fire got any last words?
Mint work.
Last words.
Wait, were you recording?
I don't know.
Ba-dum.
No, I was not talking to Helios.
Yeah, I'm recording, but this one is going to be 3 hours long.
I should respect that, you know.
You think I got time for this shit?
And an entire opening cinematic that you have to do. Good riddance.
You tell me, are you different or are you special?
I just love that last part.
Gives me chills every time.
Welcome.
Me when
guys, right
Bread
now.
praises the story DLC before it launches.
Yes, do you know what? Yes. I can't wait for my words to fucking smack me in the mouth, but you know, there's always a price to pay.
I
You know
wonder,
they call the story DLC the based DLC.
I wonder what they're going. Well, I wonder who's going to be the playable character. Jacob, Danny,
We Jacob.
Ferris. Before
I feel like it's
going
going to be Jacob escaping the prison because that stupid cliffhanger ending. Jacob, there might be a way out after all. It's such a fake out. I would have rather he died there, you know, accepting that he does belong there. But it's like, nah, the doctor's like, oh no, you actually don't belong here. There's a way to get out. Come on, Jacob, let's go.
I mean,
Ooh, discount Nicole jump scare. Ah!
What if they just put like Halo Reach, like current objective, survive?
That's riot mode.
Like
Yes.
the somber music starts playing, and you're fucking fighting for your life. That'd go really hard. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and when you fail the mission, you will play Lost again.
No, mate.
Yes. And like Jacob like goes to like game end himself with like his hand cannon before the biophage can just like overwhelm him.
Yeah, and then the breakdown happens. Fuck's sake.
Dun, 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 where I'm enough for me.
Bro, like my opinion of that song was ruined. When I beat that game on fucking like launch night, and then I was like, oh damn, that game was solid, and I was like, oh, that track's pretty good. Now it's ruined.
And through the
Yeah.
fucking memes, yes.
Macro posting has ruined Lost again for me. Fuck
Yeah.
all y'all.
At least,
It's
Papa,
such a good song.
you cannot feel it in the air tonight.
That's, you know what?
Feel it come.
Yeah. I'm sorry, like, but if Motive did a fit like a full version of that for DS3 remake, I'd actually.
Please,
We
That
could
shit
ask.
works.
please, they gotta release it.
We could ask.
They probably got it buried somewhere in like the fucking folders, the
Yeah.
archives of like old Dead Space assets.
I mean, they probably did. It's probably just like, yo, can you make this tidbit of the song to use in the trailer? Cheers. And they did not make the rest of it.
Probably in
Did
the
you
old
see-
Make Dead
vessel.
Space 4 already and keep it co-op.
Yes,
Did you
please do.
Speaking of like, Motive like just making the rest of the song, like you said, Papa. The did you see that singer that did the Virtual Insanity song? He actually did a cameo and he sung it like they do it in the Family Guy bit where it's like dancing, walking, rearranging furniture.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, fucking weird PG in Necro posting. Send me a link. It's fucking beautiful. I'm just gonna forward it to you. But it's like I imagine that it's like they're just hiring Motive. It's like, hey, can you make the rest of this song? Fuck yeah, and then pleases the entire Dead Space community.
Well, it's not hard to do that. Just have Gunner saying random shit on Twitter, and then, like, it's like everyone wants to buy the game.
All right,
Yeah.
Are you gonna wrap things up or?
Yeah, we'll be wrapping up. Like, we can continue this topic in the next episode. Like, it's.
Yeah, sure thing.
Like, yeah, it's going
I
to
was
be.
just
Hatred of
about-
Callisto goes
Yeah.
many chapters.
I was just about to hop off, but just wanted to make sure if you guys were gonna end it anyways first.
I mean, that will be all. Like, I'm going to sleep.
Oh, good.
Far is going to continue his stream.
48-hour live stream.
48-hour stream.
Fuck, until I get a decent run, man.
You know, it's going to be until Monday. You're not going
You
to
do
sleep.
belong there.
Yeah, you're going lost
Again.
No!
in Spain.
All right. This
Fine, we
has
have
been
lost
great.
skip.
I'm glad we could finally get around to returning to doing the podcast.
Yeah, and as well returning to my suffering of editing.
Well, if you
Right.
need help in like someone getting some footage for themselves, I can always get some clips of remake footage and send them to your way if you need a hand.
Yeah, what is
Or audio
like,
editing.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do a trailer for this episode. Like, no,
Yeah, fair enough. Good move.
like I can
Wait, you
just
mean an intro or trailer?
intro?
Aww. But that would
That
be cool.
face.
I love those intros. They're so cool.
I don't know what I'm going to put. I'm just gonna put Leon in the fucking level 3 suit fighting Crosser, like
Oh, man.
exchanging
For
blades.
3 hours.
Put in standing here.
I do-
realize.
I do really love the layout of the podcast we did with Calvin and Anita.
Yeah, but there's also like additional work and trying to connect with the.
Don't overwork yourself.
Well, unless if you wanna do the intro, be like, it's more than welcome. But
Brady, we got this.
We won't get lost
Easy.
again making the intro.
No, we're not gonna get lost again. We're gonna
The
win.
intro was lost again. We must bring
No.
it back.
Yeah, yeah, do you know what? Yeah.
I mean, it needs to be a song that is not copyright.
Oh yeah. That's why I made sure when I was thinking of ideas of like what my guy should say in the intro of the Negative Atmosphere podcast we did. I used a song from that fucking game.
Yeah, I mean, I do have. I can choose.
But made sure it wasn't
between-
copyright.
Yeah, I could choose between, I don't know, Oblivion music, Metal Hellsinger music. I mean,
Sweet.
Oblivion soundtrack will be nice.
I haven't even played the
All
fucking
good.
DLC.
Like, imagine.
Alright.
So while we were talking about Dead Space Remake, it was going to be like the pleasant soundtrack, and then when we switch to Callisto Protocol, it's going to be combat music. It's just
Real
It's a shame we
shit.
can't use, it's a shame we can't use Lost Again in like the podcast or the intro because
No, it's fucking glorious.
it's fucking copyright though.
yeah.
Alright. Listen
yeah.
to this has been great. I'm glad we can finally do this.
Okay, Brody, you're doing the outro.
Alright, thanks Dad. Alright.
You're welcome, son.
Thank you everyone for coming to listen and watch. Thanks for everyone for being here. Fiery, thank you for taking your time to both stream and come to a podcast.
Next time I'll be less busy and I can talk more.
It's all good. And yeah, thanks again, Helios and Papa Bread, for coming around. Always love having a banter with you guys, whether it's a good game, a mediocre game, or a bad game.
I cannot wait to suffer editing. Yay! For the sixth
Thanks again.
time.
Thanks for watching and listening.